Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Please delete as applicable because the internet is worldwide and time zones are a thing. Can I get a wee audio check in the chat, please? Thank you, people. Fucking tell me there's no people here. But I'm pretty sure Budgie Burglars are, because he's just said good evening, and looks like Bass is here. Oh, now tell me 7 people. It just takes a while to catch up. Looks of it. Bass, what about you, brother? Good to have you here. Sansom, yes, Days of Pearls, all that sort of stuff. Lovely. Glad to have you here, Sansom. Unloved Auto, what about you? Planet X Hunter, evening, sir. Glad to have you aboard. Hey, how's everybody? Let's see. Raymond Paper, what about you? Rory Herbert, good evening, sir. Edmund 184, welcome to the chat. The delectable sexy Emma G, lovely to have you here. Let's see, bit of housekeeping. Big welcome to everybody who came here from the White Pill stream with Sansom and Bonnie Ladd. If you're here and you were not at that stream earlier on Saturday, if you like my stuff, you like theirs as well. So that's one to put in your bookmark. What else we'll have? Riding Orange Spear tomorrow evening. I think it's 7 that he's starting at. He's got Angry Bootneck and Ex-Army Pass. 1 second, just a cough here. Well, actually, it was a burp, but it was noises you didn't want really over that microphone. Yes. So, Ragnar tomorrow night. I'm not sure what's happening with Scott's Armor, whether or not that stream will be on Sunday after that. Honestly, don't know, but probably. Next Friday, I will be on the Amigos News Roundup with Sansom and Bonnie Ladd, so I'm looking forward to that. So hopefully get yourselves over and watch that as well. I'm really looking forward to that because with what I cover here, it's not really new stuff. So I'm looking forward to doing a bit of giving my thoughts on the news. Anglo-Saxon, evening, brother. And next week I have a guest on. I think you're going to find it really enjoyable. You all know him from the chat and different streams. Toffee. I've had interactions with him in the chat, and whenever DJ Resisting the Lies put together a stream last week, I think it was, Toffee and I were chatting and that, and he's going to come on here and we'll have a proper long form conversation. I'm really looking forward to that as well. That will be good. Scott's Armor could be Resisting the Lies. But I'm pretty sure they're 2 different people. So there you go. That's everything up to date on what's coming on. Well, give me 1 second because my phone is currently going nuts. Right. Seems Reg's sending me messages. Just yep. Links to YouTube stuff. He knows I'm streaming it. But there you go. That would be it. Toffee biscuit would be nice. Mannequin Skywalker, what about you, Sean? Glad to have you here. So there you go. So that's us pretty much up to date with all that stuff. And with that said and done, no, it was not you digging your phone, but I did check because if I've made a major boo boo or there's something that I forgot or something, Emma would drop me a message to let me know. So, but it's not. It was Rag sending me fucking links. So there you go. Right. And with that said and done, we're going to begin talking about the Pearly Kings and Queens and their Harvest Festival, which happens around this time of year. Now, whenever I started to look into this, it was always the first thing I found out was that there were several dates coming up for this event, which I thought was a bit strange, but it actually makes more sense as we start to learn about this. You start to figure out why. Now, what have I got? And yep, we're all good. And we're going to share a screen. What's that emoji you're putting up there, Emma? Right, I'm going to share my screen and we'll get the first bit of Pearly Kings and Queens up. I do not want to subscribe to that. Or what? We are indeed. Let's have a look at this. I'm going to zoom this in just a little bit more. Yep, there you go. So that's basically what these people look like. They sew all these mother of pearl buttons on beads onto their actual work clothes, and that's how they stand out as Pearly Kings and Queens. So, with that being said and done, just have a hold on. Middle rung looks a bit sus. Hold on, not sure what Samson's referring to there. Right. So this is what time. This link is actually from Time Out. By the way, I've actually got myself organized and I've got the links for everything I'm using on this in the description, like I should have been doing all the way along. So there's that. If anybody wants to go back and grab the actual links for whatever, do more research, or if they want the link, it'll be easy to find. So here we go. Time Out says it's easy to spot a Pearly. They wear suits and hats covered in hundreds of shiny buttons. The origins of this 125-year-old tradition is rooted in charity. Each Pearly King and Queen fundraise all year round. As September rolls around, it's time for the Guildhall to welcome the Cockney masses for a shindig. Dick Van Dyke would give his right arm to muscle in on. The annual event features traditional English entertainment, including maypole dancing, Morris dancers, and a marching band. Be prepared to declare your London pride by shouting along to "Maybe It's Because I'm a Londoner" before embarking on the parade around the City of London to Mary Lee Bow Church for the 3 p.m. service. The event is free, but Harvest Festival offerings, typically non-perishable goods and toiletries, are welcome and will be donated to the Whitechapel Mission. If you fancy becoming a Pearly, you'll have to marry into one of the original families. It's a hereditary title. Much like the royal family, the majority of the traditional Cockneys may have been priced out of London. I don't think they were priced out, but events like this are a brilliant opportunity to enjoy a proper estate and ease up. So that is the quick overview from Time Out. Yes, sounds some good call. Hit that like button, please. He do look ridiculous though. Yeah, but good ridiculous. Nah, I'm going to get a bit more detail on this for you. So we're going to delve into it a little bit more. Just get the next link up. Happy with the cookies. Yep, that's all looking good. I believe it is. It would not surprise me if there's something done to try to keep some of the tradition going while as like a some form of a period drama that you'd see on television. 6 things you never knew about the Pearly Kings and Queens. Pearly Kings and Queens are an iconic image of London, easily recognised by their distinctive suits and accessories covered with patterns of mother of pearl buttons. They have inspired fashion designers, costume makers, and been featured in everything from films to the London Olympics opening ceremony. But do you know the meaning and surprising history behind the costume? Well, we're about to find out. This is coming from the Museum of London. And if you look here at the, actually, I'm going to see if I can zoom this in a little more. F. Bliss, Pearly King of Islington. There he's got the cards, which is saying that life's a chance. That uh, is what that's sort of referring to. I'm going to take this back out just a little. The very first Pearly King is expected to have been Henry Croft, an orphan and street sweeper. In the mid to late 1870s, Croft completely covered his suit in mother of pearl buttons, creating the first pearly smuggler suit. He did this to draw attention to himself while collecting money for orphanages, hospitals, and so the Pearly mission to support charitable organisations was born. Following Henry Croft's example, Pearlies sewed buttons onto their own garments. Buttons are sewn into patterns, words, and symbols, which often have specific meanings. A heart means charity, and a wheel is the circle of life. On display in the museum is a suit of the Pearly King of Islington, Fred Bliss, which features playing cards on his jacket, illustrating that life is a gamble. It also has donkeys, which were vital for pulling cotsmonger's cart to the market. But Pearlies have been around even longer. Got some Pearly shoes. Coastmongers were market and street traders who sold fruit, vegetables, fish, and other produce from a cart or a stall on the street. They were said to have sewn mother of pearl buttons on their clothes to distinguish themselves. A line down the outside seam of the trouser leg from the knee to the ankle, as well as on the flaps of their jacket pockets. It was a tradition for each coster community in London to elect a leader or king to organise them, keep the peace, and to stand up for their rights with authorities. Henry possibly drew on this tradition when he used the term Pearly King. I'm just going to take a quick check back in the chat. Yep, there is a circle of life. Uh, it involves being born and dying, and your journey is whatever happens in the middle. Right, back to it. There's some debate as to whether Henry was inspired by the dress of London's costmongers or the costumes of the music hall coster singers. Coster singers entertained the crowds with Cockney songs in the music halls. One singer, Ham, Hamron Travers, performed around this time as the Pearly King. He wore the handsomest and most costly suit of clothes ever seen. Near year, and that's cited from the era, 20th of January 1883. Perhaps Henry's suit was influenced by both groups. It was the costers, however, who embraced the style and ideology of the Pearly Kings and Queens. And this is some form of a wig hat affair with lots of pearls and stuff on it. Pearlies are easily recognised by their colourful and eye-catching costumes. We're displaying several extraordinary items in the Pearly treasures, including a magnificent hat decorated with ostrich feathers. But being a Pearly is not just about wearing the costume, it's about a lifelong commitment to work tirelessly to raise money for charity. These days, the Pearlies have divided into several organisations, however, all still have charity work at their heart. Henry is also said to have been inspired towards charitable work by the ethos of the costmongers, known as a tight knit group who watched out for each other. Henry Mayhew, in his 1851 investigative work, London Labour and the London Poor, states, I heard on all hands that the costers never steal from one another and never wink at anyone stealing from a neighbouring stall. They would also support fellow costers in distress by holding raffles where the proceeds would be given to the one in need. Pearly titles are hereditary. Just like the somewhat grander royal titles, traditionally Pearly titles are passed down through families. Children would be raised in their family's Pearly traditions and eventually be crowned with their parents' title. On occasion, the title would pass to a cousin or other relative. Today, some of the old Pearly families have moved out of London. No shit. So some titles rest vacant. On certain occasions, individuals with strong proven commitment to charity work may be invited to hold the title. In this case, they seek permission to borrow the title from the family who is currently resting theirs, thereby keeping the title alive in London. I would say it's not going to be long before there's more titles that are dead than alive. One object in the display is a wonderful physical representation of this tradition, a Pearly princess dress made to be worn by a young girl who was the daughter of Pearly parents. The remains of the word Little Queen, so a mother of pearl, can still be seen on the skirt, and that's this skirt here. You can just about make out the little. Every London borough has a Pearly family. The earliest known printed reference to Croft as a Pearly King was in the Strand magazine 1902, and by 1911 All 28 London boroughs had a Pearly family, a total of around 300 people. Many, but not all Pearly families were from the costermonger community. Bert Matthews, a Pearly king of Hampstead, was a rat catcher for 40 years. Pearly titles don't die out if the royal family leaves London. The Pearly king and queen of Islington was held by descendants of the Cole family. However, when they emigrated to Australia, they handed their title back to the original Pearly Kings and Queens Association. Phyllis and Bobby Broadbent have now taken up these titles. The traditional harvest festivals were a time to celebrate the end of the harvest season and to give thanks for the crops. They're held on the Sunday closest to the harvest moon, which is the full moon that occurs closest to the autumn equinox. And this is why, whenever I was starting to look at it, I was getting all the different dates because the moon doesn't, the full moon doesn't fall on the same date every year, quite the same as Easter. The Pearly still hold annual harvest festivals. This year in the Guildhall, organised by the Pearly Queen, Doreen Golden. Their 2016 festival will take place on Sunday, 25th of September at 1 p.m. That's obviously the year that this was written on. The festivals involve marching bands, donkeys, and carts, Morris men and women, and maypole dancing, following which they march to the church of St Mary Le Bow in Cheapside. John Walters of the London Pearly Kings and Queens Society explained that this event is their way of saying thank you to the Londoners. So I'm going to have a quick pop back into the chat. And see what is wrong. There's dormant quite a lot of things. Yep, it should. We need to actually, and by we I mean the British people, need to actually start having a serious think about that, about what is actually disappearing. Yep, Marsh dancers, and I'm about to get up. Yeah, but that's the feast of death and rejuvenation, which happens at a totally different time of year. It's hard to know if it's going to be 10 years or 30 years, but it's on its way out. And there's another question about how many of them get parachuted in from a different part of the country, uh, probably Essex, just for the day to do the parade. I don't think we really have a tradition of Easter parades, but we do have May Day parades. Nah, get up a little bit of a video. Hold on. Grab that link. Here we go. Right. Right. That's it lined up and ready to go. Share the screen. Share the screen. Oh. That's the one we wanted. Here we go. So that was a quick duty out. So that's pretty much about the Pearly Kings and Queens Harvest Festival. And we're going to be talking about some more. No, because we are not a diverse country, and whenever it comes to traditions, that is going to show out. That is going to come into play. Now, that brings us to our first interlude. And we're going to have a quick look. Has Toffee arrived? Boom, 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 boom. Right. Share screen. Now, this clip I'm going to show you is about perseverance and determination. Right, let's see. Hold on. Yep. Hold on. Here it comes. We'll be watching this guy attempt to do a double backflip on a wheelchair. Have a check of this. Have a check out of this.
That's a valley, but in practice, the man, the myth, the legend, Aaron Wheels Fotheringham did the world's first double backflip 360 in a wheelchair. Yeah, Wheels!
Let's get it again.
You're the legend. Oh, yeah?
Yeah, gotta double up.
Dude, you have it. So, you're going to see, like, footage, but he had it so dialed, it all came down to, like, I think it was, like, 13th try. But basically, it was just to do with the speed. Like, you would nearly spin it every time. But he was getting smashed. And you're going to see.
At least if it goes wrong, he has a wheelchair. Yep, there is that. Yeah, I'd like to see Rob's giving that a go. But I'm going to wind it back a wee bit and have another look at the. Hold on. 42. Out of interest, the St. Mary Le Beau Church in Cheapside, London, is the church that if you can't hear the bow bells when you're born, you cannot call yourself a Cockney. That's exactly it. In order to be a Cockney, you've got to be within the sound of bow bells. Right, here we go. Yep. Get this back. I want to get another quick look at
Yeah, I'm going to put all the clips in, but he's going to absolutely.
The one where he actually lands it, because this is actually quite incredible.
Basically, it was just to do with the speed. Like, you would nearly spin it every time. But he was getting smashed. And you're going to see, I'm going to put all the clips in, but he's going to absolutely.
There we go. So there was that. Well, okay, I'm not sure, but I'm guessing that he probably did paralyze himself doing something on a bicycle or stuff like that. When papers are correct, right? Me too, mate. Me too. Right. Now, where we're going to next. Right. Yes. Where we're going to. No, not that. So, next thing we're going to is the Harvest of the Sea Festival, which is again in London. And as we go through these things, we're getting a bit of there's a bit of a theme here. We seem to have similar festivals for similar things recurring through the year. And here we go. The Harvest of the Sea Festival. This is from a blog called Splatfield's Life. Whenever I'm going through these, I try to find. Yep, oh, good, we're sharing. Yep, Neptune's larder. I try to find the clips that give the best of the information and the whole thing. So this is what I found that had most of it. Thomas A. Becket was the first rector of St Mary at the Hill in the city of London. The ancient church upon the rise of the old Billingsgate Market, where each year at the season the Harvest Festival of the Sea is celebrated to give thanks to the fish of the deep that we all delight to eat, and which sustained a culture of porters and fishmongers here for centuries. The market itself may have moved out of the Isle of Dogs in 1982, but that does not stop the senior porters and fishmongers making an annual pilgrimage back up the cobbled hill where, as young men, they once wheeled barrows of fish in the dawn. For one day a year, this glorious church, designed by Sir Christopher Wren, is recast as the fishmongers, with an artful display of gleaming fish and other exotic ocean creatures spilling out of the porch, causing the worn marble tombstones to glisten like slabs of a fish shop. The imparting an unmistakably fishy aroma to the entire building, yet it all serves to make the men from Billinggate feel at home in their chosen watery element, as I discovered when I went along to the congregation. Frank David and Billy Habit, two senior porters in white overalls, both took off their hats, or bobbins as they are called, to greet me. These unique pieces of headgear once enabled the porters to balance stacks of fish boxes on their heads, while the brim protected them from any spillage. Frank, a veteran of 89 years old, who was a porter for 60 years, from the age of 18. 60 years being a fish porter? That's long, hard work. Showed me the bobbin he had worn throughout his career, originally worn by his grandfather, Jim David, in Billingsgate in the 1890s, and then passed down by his father, Tim David. Of sturdy wooden construction, covered with canvas and bitumen, and stitched and studded, These curious glossy black artifacts seem to almost have a life of their own. When you have 12 boxes of kippers in your head, you knew you'd got it on, quipped Billy, displaying his brand new hat made only in the 1930s, a mere stripling of the 73, still fit and healthy. Billy started his career at Christmas in 1959 in the old Billingsgate market, carrying boxes on his bobbin and wheelbarrows of fish up the incline past St Mary's at Hill, two trucks waiting in Eastcheap. Caustic that the City of London revoked the porter's licensing after more than 130 years. Our traditions are disappearing. He confided in me in the churchyard, rolling his eyes and striking subtly electric autumn note. Just want to check the chat. Oh, so DJ Emma has just elected you. Toffee, evening, brother. Glad to have you here. You were, I don't know if you caught the start. I don't think you did, but I've announced that you're coming on next week, and we're going to have a good, proper, long form conversation. Really looking forward to that. Just checking anything else you'll need to be getting involved with. No, nothing really. But that is looking very small on the screen. I'm going to zoom this in a bit. View. Zoom in. Proudly attending the spectacular display of fish in the porch, I met Eddie Hall, a fishmonger who started his career in 1948. He recalled the good times after the war when fish was cheap and you could walk across Lowestoft Harbour, stepping from one boat to the next. My father said we're fishing the ocean dry, and one day it'll be a luxury item. He told me, lowering his voice, and he was right. It has now come to pass. Charlie Crissy, a fishmonger who once ran the fish shop opposite Harrods, employing 35 staff, showed me his debut from 1967 when he was trading in the old Billingsgate market. No one would believe it now, he exclaimed, wondering at the low prices evidenced by his own handwriting. We had 4 people then who made a living just out of selling parsley, and 2 who made a living out of just washing fish boxes. By now, the swelling tones of the organ installed by William Hill in 1848 were summoning us all to sit beneath. Wren's copula and the Billingsgate men in their overalls mostly occupied the back row as the dignitaries of the city, in their dark suits and fur-trimmed robes, processed to take their seats at the front. We all sang and prayed together as the church became a great lantern illuminated by shifting patterns of the October sunshine. While the bones of the long dead slumbered peacefully beneath our feet, the verse is referring to those who go down to the sea in ships and occupy themselves upon the great waters. And the lyrics of For Those in Peril on the Sea reminded us of the plain reality upon which the trade is based. As we sat on the elegantly proportioned classical space, and the smell of fish drifted among us until upon the currents of air. In spite of the sombre regrets at the loss of the stocks in the ocean and the unease over the changes in the industry, we are all unified in wonder at the miracle of the harvest of our oceans and by their love of fish, manifest in and delight. We share to see such extravagant variety displayed upon the slab in the church, and I enjoyed my own personal harvest festival of the sea in Spitfields for the next week, thanks to a large bag of fresh fish that Eddie Hill slipped into my hand as I left the church. So this guy, the guy that's writing this, oh, there's the organ. That's a bit classy. So this is inside the church. They've got the fish nets up and they've got loads of fish, and then you obviously giving portions of that to everybody that turns up. Fishies. That's that guy's book from 1967. Yeah, don't fancy that. No. Don't want to be eating none of that. There's parsley and fish. There's those guys, those bobbin hats. And you can see there the lip, like it sits up, and that's what they would put their boxes of fish on. There's the inside of the bobbins. Just want to take a quick jump back into the chat. River Clyde was once teaming with Silver Darlings, but alas, no more. I have no idea. I was quite surprised to see Doctor Who there as well. Right. Back out. Yep, there's the inside. That's his Market Porter number from Billingsgate. Oh. That'll be the head guy from the church. Or is it actually the Lord Mayor? Lord Mayor. And there's his staff. That's a base of staff. Like everybody turns up that week for the free fish. And lots of other stuff there as well. For those that think that the fish look a bit fishy. Yep. That's all the oil hands. They're cleaning the place up at the end of the day. And a picture of the street. I think. Right. So there you go. That is the Festival of the Sea. Yep, I would say that's cheap Aldi wine. John Davison, welcome, sir. Glad to have you aboard. I have some friends who enjoy the freedom of the City of London. Apparently, they are still allowed to drive their sheep across London Bridge. But I don't think any of them have done it. Now, is it the freedom of the City of London or the City of Westminster? Because they're two separate places. And I'm pretty sure London Bridge is not on the middle of the city. But it would be good if they decide to give that a whirl, get the sheep out, if they have sheep. So there you go. That's the harvest of the sea. And that's going to bring us to our next interlude. And what we're going to have a look at is the World Conker Championships, which happened last month. It's normally a September thing. But we didn't get it last month for a whole variety of reasons. So we're going to have a quick look at that now. Right, if I just get this pulled up, share screen. What are we like? Oh, we're good. Right.
It's that time of year again. The 47th Annual World Conker Championships are on, and the competition is fierce.
Just want to do a quick, let us know in the chat that we'll have audio.
200 players have come from as far as France, Latvia, and the U.S., hoping to be the last conker standing.
I love it. This is so British, isn't it?
For those of you who aren't familiar with the game, here's how it works. The goal is to smash the other player's conker, also called a horse chestnut. The conkers are strung on leather laces and are drawn blindly from a bag. Players have 3 strikes over a 5-minute period, and if neither conker is broken at the end of the round, there's a penalty shootout with each player allotted 9 strikes. Event organizer John Burkett says the key to snagging the title is in technique.
There's various techniques. You'll find a lot of people favour the really hard downward swipe and try to smash the other opponent's conker, but you've got just as much chance of breaking your own conker if you do that. So there are various other techniques. There's the sideways tap, which you sort of tap away at the other conker and wait for the other person really to break theirs, and that can be quite successful. In fact, there's been 2 or 3 champions have used that technique.
But in the end, these two were the toughest nuts to crack. Sophie Knox, dressed as the Pink Panther, won the women's title, and Simon Cullum was crowned the men's champion.
So there you go. That's a quick look at the World Conker Championship, which happens in September each year. I'm pretty sure most of us in the chat here remember playing conkers when we were a kid. Soaking them in vinegar did not work very well, mate. What I found worked best was putting them in the hot press for a year and bringing them out next year, and they seem to do quite well. That's what I used to do with mine. I used to be always working on last year's supply. Get them well properly dried. The thing I don't like about that conker thing is you got random conker. You had to choose your conker and not in the day. Yep, yearlings work well. Actually, that story. Well, 3 months would do, but see, after 3 months, nobody's playing conkers anymore. You're the only person with conkers, so you have to keep them until next year. Planet X Hunter, that's cheating. That is bona fide cheating. Actually, the story about the conkers being banned in the school turned out to be not quite correct. What happened was there was 2 lads playing conkers in the school. The teacher walked past and said, the teacher walked past and said, "Here, lads, there's safety glasses in the science block if you want them." And that's all that happened. They were allowed to continue playing conkers. And then they went home. There was a bit of Chinese whispers. And then by the time it got the news, it was banned in the school. And then I think over health and safety. And then it then became an issue. And I'm not sure if what the crack is now. But that was make one out of wood and paint it. No, I haven't seen very much of it. Some trees give harder conkers. Yep. A lot of jealousy, people having fun with their silly traditions. Jesus Stone. I had an Action Man tank too, but I didn't keep my conkers on it. That's a good call. Boss, I totally agree with that. Kids do need more outside air. Kids too busy playing Rolex and Minecraft. Yep. Or stone on a bit of string. Oh, so long as we have horse chestnut trees, we'll have conkers. That's pretty much the way that goes. Nah. Right, here we go. Next thing next. Banbury McMichael's Fair is where we're going next. Here we go. Just getting this link up. And share screen. Have a check at this. Yeah, go-karts were cool. They were indeed. Mannequin, conkers, no trees, making carts, etc. Feel sorry for the kids now. They honestly don't know what they're missing out on. They really don't. Holy fuck. Poishest Road in Norfolk chopped down their conker trees because peggy trees were collecting conkers and the residents didn't want them outside. That is fucking extreme. Yeah. It turns out whenever your sister's still using the pram, you're not allowed to take the wheels for a go kart. Apparently, at least that's what my parents told me anyway. Right. So let's have a look at this McMichael's Day Fair, and let's make this a little bit larger on the screen. Zoom in. We'll have a quick check at this. It's not great, but it'll have to do. You can't really go much larger than that. For centuries, Banbury Town has held a series of fairs held in the town centre for local trade, job recruitment, recreation. Today, the McMichael's Fair is an important date in the diary of most Brandonshire residents. Whenever I started to look into this, I thought there was only one fair for St. Michael's Day, but it turns out there's a lot more. During what used to be known as the Mop Fair, local tradesmen, craftsmen, labourers, farmers and servants came into the town to look for new employment. Back in those days, seasonal employment lasted from October to October. So everyone came into town with high hopes of getting a new employer and securing their income for the year ahead. Everyone who attended dressed up and took along the tools of their trade to help their hires see who was available for relevant jobs. The housemaids held mops, which led to the name Mop Fair. Once someone was officially hired, they were then given a ribbon and some spending money to spend as they wished. The custom was helped. This custom helped turn what could be a dry affair into something more of a celebration, with stalls, games, and entertainment on offer, as well as drinking and bad behaviour that came with such a celebration at the time. A charter was signed which included provision to hold the event on the first Thursday after Old McMichael's Day, which evolved into the McMichael's Fair as we know it today. For hundreds of years now, Brandonshire residents have flocked to the marketplace and Bridge Street for the annual event, which has become one of the most famous travelling fun fairs in Britain. In 1966, the late Frank Wells shot footage of the fair arriving in town and being erected before local revellers got to go on the rides for the first time that year. And that video is unavailable, so I can't watch that. 20th century and onwards, the advent of electricity brought radical changes to fairs and amusement parks. The steam-powered engines and gas-lit lighting were quickly replaced with elaborate rigs with new sound amplifiers. This changed once the country-style fair into a more visceral experience along the lines of what you find today. The kind of stalls and entertainment and offer changed a great deal, from palm readers, peep shows, really, and freak shows, to more complicated mechanical creations that gave attendances a different kind of thrill. Petty crime was also a problem, with pickpockets targeting the fair, some of which had been banned from the same fair previously held in Oxford St Giles. Both World Wars inevitably brought the attendance to a standstill, with more pressing matters at hand. But after the Second World War, the fair's duration was extended to 3 full days. 2 days held from Wednesday afternoon through to late Friday night. The main attractions of the fair have been owned by the Wilsons for hundreds of years. The family business has grown to become the premier fairground organisers across the UK and Europe, and you'd find many of the more traditional rides, such as the galloping horses, featuring the Wilsons' name in ornate lettering. In times past, the fair's location was restricted to Marketplace and Bridge Street, but during the years, the rides have also been placed at the old bus station, the old Spiceball Park, and Old Britannia Works ground, now the bowling alley, and by Branbury Cross, and also the Neil Bar top of Parsons Street. In keeping with the tradition that goes back centuries, the current chairman of the council, along with the town mayor, will open the proceedings with his golden key. He or she will touch the key against certain attractions to grant free rides for attending children. Speaking in 2016, Churl District Council Chairman Chris Heath proclaimed, "It may be one of Branbury's oldest, most historic traditions, but it remains one of the most popular. So it is a privilege to be able to receive the golden key this year. The fun of the fair spans generations, from little ones dazzled by the lights to youngsters testing their nerve in the rides, and adults who simply stroll around the attractions, reveling in their own happy childhood memories of the fair. So if you're all up for the fair, then come to Branbury mid-October for a great experience. You'll find the usual attractions such as Hook the Duck, Coconut Shy, rifle shooting stalls, arcades, video games, children's rides, couple of helter-skelters, dodgems, waltzers, candy floss, hot dogs, toffee apple film. There's all that normal stuff. And there's a couple of pictures of it. So whenever I began researching this, how I go about I want to have a quick look in the comments. "42. Would you agree that the English have lost their culture and identity, unlike ourselves, when we celebrate ours?" Well, this is an open question, because this Branbury Fair is part of English culture and it's still going. Now, how much it's changed, I don't know. How much the people that are in attendance have changed, I don't know. But I think that is far too broad a sweeping statement. English people still have their culture. They still have. It's not gone. It's not been stolen. It's not been eradicated. It just needs uncovered. And part of why I do what I'm doing every week, find cultural events that are happening, and like there hasn't been a week I haven't been able to find an old tradition in Britain that was going on somewhere. So no, we haven't lost it. It is under promoted, without a shadow of a doubt. We hear far too much about stuff that is not our culture, and the stuff that is our culture gets little to no coverage. But it's not gone. It's not lost. Hardly anyone knows about the Branbury Fair. I don't. Yes, this is why I do what I do. Oh, Toffee, I'm really interested in that conversation too. And I also think there's more to Scouse than, well, interestingly, the Lammas Fairs, we covered them a couple of months ago, was another quarter day. These fairs these fairs that are going on now are very similar to the Lammas Fairs. Right now, we're going to have, so yes, how I research this show, I go on, look up British traditions and see what's going on in any particular given week. And then I do a bit of a deeper dive into the origins, where they come from, and all that sort of stuff. And I started off at Branbury Fair, and then I found out it was a Mop Fair. So then I had a look at Mop Fares, and this is where we ended up. So I'm going to get this next link up. Some of this will be a bit of a repeat of stuff that you heard in the previous one, but there's enough new information in it that makes it worth going through both of them. Hold on. Get rid of that. Now back to StreamYard. Share screen. Here we go. I want to have a quick look. How's that looking? There's a beautiful, yeah, we did all about the May Day celebrations and the Green Man and all that sort of stuff. There's quite a few. It's going strong and surprisingly in quite a few places. Yep, you do not. You never know what you've got until it's not there. Here we go. Got a picture of Ledbury Mop Fair, and I don't know where it's from. 29th September is a day in the traditional English calendar when a lot happens. The feast day of McMichael's is noted in both the Anglican and Catholic calendars. Point of order, Anglican is Catholic, Protestant Catholic. And so is celebrated in Ireland as well as Britain. It is a time when the harvest is coming and then winter is coming, and much needs to be done before the hard months ahead. Folklore was used to remind people of tasks needed to be carried out. From paying rent to the need to stop picking certain fruits, St. Michael's helped the rural-minded folk to manage themselves. The date was also used to help predict the weather over winter, to help a farmer take an informed gamble on how to grow his crops, sowing or livestock management. It was also a day when job seekers would take themselves to fairs in hopes of securing a contract for the next year. In this article, we take a look at some of the many names, folklore, and superstitions associated with the 29th of September in England. This date is best known as McMichael's, named after the Archangel Michael. This is a feast day from the Christian calendar, which is believed to have its origins in the Middle Ages and celebrates the victory of the Archangel Michael, defeating Lucifer and casting him down from heaven. It also happens to be the anniversary of the dedication of the Basilica of St. Michael to him and is celebrated both by the Anglican and Roman Catholic churches. Michael is regarded in the Christian world as the chief of angels or archangel. His history is obscure. In scripture, he is mentioned 5 times and always in a warlike character, namely thrice by Daniel as fighting for the Jewish church against Persia, once by St. Jude as fighting with the devil about the body of Moses, and once by St. John as fighting at the head of the angelic troops against the dragon and his host. He is usually represented in a coat of armour with glory round his head and a dart in his hand, trampling on the fallen Lucifer. The deep purple flower known as McMichael's daisy flowers around this time and is much loved feature of many cottage gardens. It is worth noting that Old McMichael's Day falls on the 10th or 11th of October. The change of date occurs in 1742 thanks to the calendar reform when the Julian calendar was swapped for the Gregorian calendar. Britain was rather slow in the uptake of this new date system, which had been first introduced in 1582, and as a result, 11 days disappeared in 1742 to allow the British to synchronise their calendar with the rest of the Western world. We have run into this problem before with dating things. Got some blackberries. On the 20th of September, another name was Devil's Spirits Day. This notes a date in the calendar when blackberries can no longer be picked, as they are spoiled by the devil himself. According to folklore, 29th of September is the day that the devil fell down to earth, cast out from heaven after his defeat by the Archangel Michael, and fell straight into a thorny bramble bush, where he was scratched to bits. The devil cursed the blackberries as he scrambled out of his bush, stamping on the brambles and scorching them with his fiery breath. Before he flew off to tend to some wickedness, he spat upon the blackberries and made them unfit for consumption. However, if you live in Cornwall, the devil did far worse than spitting on the blackberries. He pissed on them. Even in Ireland, this superstition is observed, as a proverb describes. On Michael's Day, the devil puts his foot in the blackberries. Never heard of it. It is customary not to pick these wild bramble fruits after this date, as they will make you bad, both of belly and fortune. Common sense alone dictates that blackberries are past their best after this date, with blackberry picking season officially over before October begins. Just want to take a quick jump into the chat. Yeah, unfortunately, that's becoming quite a tradition, going to retail parks. Well, okay. My son was born on September 29th. Explains a lot. Can't see it. No, mate, we had the same 12 months. We've had 12 months since the Roman times. Right. Cracking on. Geese. That picture wasn't taken yesterday. Financial prosperity for the next 12 months was believed to occur if a goose was eaten on 29th September. Geese were fattened on the fallen grain left in the wheat fields following the August harvest. So we're seen by some to embody the desire to be frugal and not waste the produce of a year's hard work. It was also tradition to give a goose to your landlord as a gift on the 29th of September. In the 16th century, rents were paid quarterly, and it was customary for tenants to present their landlord with a gift at the same time in the hopes that they would stay in their landlord's good books and not be turfed out of their cottages or cleared from the land that earned their livelihood. Mop Fares. Here's where we go. Throughout England, you might see events known as Mop Fares. Contracts of employment would be set up to last year, traditionally ending on Michaelmas Day. On the 29th of September, soon after, harrying fairs would take place in towns and villages, although many parts of Britain held their fairs around Martinez or on 11th November. Following the Black Death, King Edward III introduced the Statute of Labourers in 1351. The population of Britain had been so decimated and labour was hard to come by. The economy was in danger of spiralling out of control, and so the state was put a statute was put in place in an attempt to stabilise wages and keep the local workforce from migrating to areas where the pay would be better. The statute was harsh and demanded that anyone able to do so must present themselves for employment. That every person, able in body and under the age of 60 years, not having enough to live upon, being required, shall be bound to serve him that doth require him, or else be committed to gaol until he shall find surety to serve, and that the old wages shall be given and no more. Hiring fairs appeared in response to this, where the local population would present themselves for employment. Those seeking work would arrive with the tools of the trade on display. For example, a housemaid would take a broom or a mop with her, which is where the term mop fair is believed to originate from. Among these carters and wagoners were distinguished by having a piece of whipcord twisted around their hats. Thatchers wore a fragment of woven straw. Shepherds held their shepherd's crook in their hands, and thus the situation required was known to the hirers at a glance. The mop fairs continued up until the Second World War and only started to disappear with a change in the way the workforce was managed. Today's mop fairs no longer feature villagers presenting themselves for employment, but remain a feature of the local calendar, usually featuring market stalls, local produce, hog or ox roast, a fun fair, dancing, music, and contests. They are popular events that the community looks forward to. The Alcaster Mop Fair is held around the beginning of October, when the Stratford upon Avon Mop taking place around the 10th of October or near Old McMichael's Day. In Birmingham, the King's Heath Mop takes place near the same date as the Mop Fair. So you all use what we're saying, our traditions are disappearing and going. They're actually not. You just aren't aware of them. And because you're not aware of them, you're not attending them. Interestingly, there are also runaway fairs that take place in many of the towns that help mop fairs. A second hiring fair that usually takes place the week after the main mop fair is believed that they were set up to allow job seekers to look again for employment if they found their original employer too harsh or demanding. The period between a mop fair and a runaway fair also gave employers a chance to trial their new employees. If they were not suitable, those taken on could be released from their contract and employers could seek replacements at the runaway fair. Now, here we go. This is a mop fair from 1914. There's no sound of this. Check out that. Roasting a whole car. He's having a good look at it. Still has his horns on. This is true. It is amazing how work was organised whenever we didn't have a welfare system. Raymond Piper. This reminds me of a dystopian post-apocalyptic class teaching survivors how humans used to live. You're not far off. Oh, fuck. How long have I been muted? Good call, boss. How long was I muted? Roy Herbert. Still have hog roast in local village. My dad's church had a hog roast a few years ago, and it was very nice. We enjoyed it. Thanks, Megan. Nah. Oh, I didn't mean to take that whole tab off. Here we go. I need to get back to that. Oh, that was it. That was all that. Weather predictions. Yep. Yep. That is all of that. Yep. We've got all that. It's a brave new world. It is indeed. Now, what else was I going with that we have? Yes, we have a little bit of Stratford and Avon. Mop Fare. This one does have sound. Hold on. Be with you in one mementos, people. Right. Hold on. Yep. We're all good. Share screen. Share screen. Chrome tab. Stratford and Avon. Yep, we're up.
Stratford-on-Avon even has traditions that aren't connected with Shakespeare. The calendar is full of quaint, age-old festivals, and rural Britain abounds with customs and celebrations that have outlived the centuries and their usefulness. Sleepy Stratford comes to life with its own throwback to oldie England, a festival they call a Mop Fair, but which nowadays is just an ordinary fair, really, except that everything's set up in the main street. On Mop Fair Day, you can walk out of your front door straight into the fairground. Centuries ago, the day of the mop was the day laborers turned out to be hired. And when they'd got their jobs, they celebrated. And the celebrations live on. The mayor and Stratford civic dignitaries add to the ancient ceremony with traditional proclamations. Merry England lives on in Egremont, Cumberland, too. The Crab Fair.
There we go. Bit of video on from Stratford and Avon. Yep. You prefer the ones without sound? Yeah, well, okay, it is. That was absolutely beautiful. Oh, Emma does really good Scotch eggs. Oh, yes, I like it good. Oh, we had a bit of gardening last week. That was good. Nah. Nah. What else did I going to do? Yes, it wouldn't be a stream if we didn't have a quick look at I don't know, something like a sofa going over a big ramp. So here we go. We're going to have a quick look at another quick back at Nature Circus. And see some strangeness, some madness on a ramp. Just want to have a quick look in the chat. I might actually do that, admin. That sounds like a good call. Yeah, Golden Buddha. They were first up. Right. Let's see. I'm pretty much caught up with the chat. Can hide that. And find the timestamp for this. 7:25. Right, we're going to go to here. Share screen, Chrome tab. Here we go. Let's get the sofa out.
Yeah, sure.
All right, here we go.
We did it!
I'm just going to let this run on a little bit.
Yeah, that's for you, Steve! Shoe cam! Alright, maybe I'll keep you on the shoe. Say hello to the shoe cam.
Oh, hi, shoe cam.
Hey, did you drain your sweat? I'm not that sweaty.
You say that until it flies in my face.
Hey, Micah. So there's 2 people, but only 1 contraption left.
Go through life alone, we can go through life together. You know what I mean?
Ah!
A bike made just to be like
ready?
that.
Yeah, sure.
He's jumping the 40-foot parapet.
Hold on.
Hudson Valley, scream on top of Gigantic. Here we go.
Yeah, the boys.
I don't know what to do tonight.
Either. I don't even know what to do. I literally don't know what to do.
Got a Willie. Whoa! Superman seat grab, front flip with all the fixins. That's why he's special. Give it up for Ryan Williams.
There we go. Yes, it does. I wouldn't mind doing that because there can't be any skill involved in that. You're just sitting on a sofa. That was impressive. That last trick was something else. No, we like to have some bits of weird things going over a ramp around these parts. And let's see, how long have we done? We've done 130. I'm going to drop this out. And let's see. Anybody wants to come on for a bit of a chat, there's a link in the chat. Yep, he had an engine. I don't remember Evel Knievel ever jumping an armchair. Let's see what else we've got in the chat. The army have gone so woke drill instructors can't say left, right, left, just left, 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 and consequently they're walking around in circles. We're actually not far wrong. That's pretty much where we're at. It has all gone mad. What else have we got? Oh, in other news, were any of you following the? Well, you probably were. Right. If you click on that link, that'll take you to a StreamYard thing. Put in your name and then go on through. Mr. Rory, what about you, sir?
Good evening, 42. How are you doing? Can you hear me?
I'm doing very well. I'm doing very
Excellent.
well. And how's yourself?
I'm okay. Thank you. My son made an unexpected trip down from London this evening, so I've been looking after him, but he's okay now. No, I just wanted to go back to the Pearly Kings and Queens because
Yeah.
I used to live in London during the 1980s, and they were in the East End of London. They were quite a big thing all around the place, and yet by the end of the 80s, going into the 90s, they kind of died out, and clearly because of white flight and immigration.
Right.
So
One second. Toffee, it's telling me you need to connect the microphone or something. It's saying your device isn't connected. Right, sorry. Continue. I just want to let Toffee know that there was an issue with him coming in.
no, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
No, I was just saying I saw it all die. Basically, they just didn't exist anymore. Not in the East End of London, anyway.
It just disappeared.
Basically,
Yeah.
or diminished by 80-90% or something.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is, with the original EastEnders moving out to Essex, I think most of them went to, you're not going to have them. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. I mean, whether they took it up again in Essex, I don't really know. That might be something interesting to look into, but I somewhat doubt it because it was so much an East End of London, Islington, City of London thing.
How do you look after market traders in Essex? How do you look after they had a function and a purpose. One second, I'm getting messages through here from Sanson. Oh, right, that's okay. Right. No, here's what's happening. The people who moved out, these titles are all hereditary. So if a family moves out, there's nobody to take it on for them. It's unfortunately the part of what we're going to lose with the white flight is traditions like the Pearly Kings and Queens. And if The
Well,
only thing the left seem to be not worried about going extinct is Cockneys.
well, I think I mentioned in the chat earlier that St Mary le Bow, that church. To
Yep.
be a Cockney, you have to be born in the distance where you can hear Bow bells ring. And obviously, move out to Essex, then I guess you're not a Cockney anymore, unfortunately.
No, you are, but your descendants aren't. This is where the problem is. The the children of the Cockneys and the Pearlys that moved out there are not, they're not being Cockneys anymore. Toffee, check your audio. There should be something at the bottom that says settings. Click that and then click on camera and audio. That should let them in. Resistant Cheeky, what about you, lads?
How's it going?
We're going good. How's yourself?
Still brushing off all the virtual bruises that I've had to endure over the last few days for my outburst that Sensa made. It's fucking ridiculous how people on the internet can't. Like, I understand that, like, my humour isn't for everybody's taste. Like, but me and Sensa have had a running joke for months. Like, it's just our thing, and like, it started off with the Neil Oliver stuff. People in my comment section like, why are you slagging off Neil Oliver? Well, we weren't, though, were we? Like, we were laughing at Sensim's. You were on the stream, you know what I'm on about. We were laughing at Sensim's interpretation, his mimicry of Neil Oliver's accent. That got me sick.
Yes.
Right? Then you fast forward to me and Sensim having the argument about the royal family and Scottish Highlanders and stuff. Oh, well, that got me shit too. Like, you're just anti-English. Now the latest one is I posted a 15-second clip of me with an anonymous mask on, looking pure dapper, by the way, in my new haircut. Like, just shit. Like,
yes,
no, but
that.
People, like, you should see the amount of dislikes. I've got people telling me that they're unsubscribing and stuff because I say, I was quite cross. I compared the English national identity to chlamydia, but it's a joke. It's a joke. If it's humour, then shut the fuck up. I don't want you on my channel anyway. Like, so all I'm saying is, thanks for asking how I'm doing. I've got a couple of metaphorical bruises, but I'll live.
Well, funny you should mention that. Sansom just sent me something on Telegram.
No, we're not doing this. Like, what's he done now? I swear, if I ever meet him in real life, I'm gonna slap him.
Yeah, there you go. He sent me that.
What's he done?
So there you go.
Wait, where did he send you? Sorry, I was on a different tab.
Oh, right, hold on. I'll get it back up again.
Well, just to put in my little bit there, resisting the rise, I'm extremely English, and I have absolutely no problem with what you said.
No, it's a joke. Like, I've got a lot. What says I'm a good friend of mine, and I've got English. Fucking shit. Sense of get your arse on the stream. Get your arse on the stream. Come on. I have no problem with English.
I have noticed a few cherries turning up in various chats from time to time recently.
Yes, it's starting to really annoy me, like, but I guess I reap what I sow. Stenson, get your wee arse on here, like, come on. He did a belt as well, because that photo there I took today, and then he posted. I'll share the video. Wait a minute. I'll share my screen. Don't worry. There's nothing untoward in my tabs. Like, but this video's he's such a prick. Wait. Where is my channel? Sorry. I'll stop hijacking your stream. Like, I'll let somebody else jump in while I find this. But hi, Excel Bacon, how are you doing, Gudgy?
I'm very well, thank you. How's yourself?
Well, like long time no speak. Eh?
Yeah, DJ, listen, later on I can explain about that very bizarre message on Telegram, but it's a long story, but I'll tell you later.
No bad, though. No
No
bad,
bad.
though. At least you're all right. But I'm gonna have to try and wait. Where is this? Jason, get your ass on here, Saxon. Like,
Toffee's finally figured it out. Toffee, now you've
Am I
got your
in?
camera on.
Am I in?
You're in there. You've also got your camera on.
What? Oh, shit. What should I do?
Press cam and you should turn it off again. Yes,
Got it?
that's you. That's you. You're good.
Yeah.
let me share the screen for just two. It's only like
Yep.
20, 30 seconds. So get your ass on here, boy. Oh, what?
Fucking hell, look at me. I'm in there. Fucking hell. Do you know what? That was such a slog.
Yeah. Toffee, see sometime next week. We'll organise a time that I can set up a stream and you
talk me
can.
through it. You'll need to talk me through it, mate.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Who's this?
I'm honestly, literally like a fucking full-on mongoloid when it comes to this, mate. I can't do it.
You'll get there, right? That's your screen up. Sure. Who's this?
Oh no.
Right. The real cool.
Fucking out, like, get your ass on here, sense. What you're doing there?
Right. The real golden Buddha. Last week we had a very good stream with myself, DJ, and Sansom. And Sansom was saying that they had two kings that were king of both England and Scotland simultaneously, and the Scottish had two bites at the cherry of having a good, having a Scottish king and continuing the royal family.
Well, he also said that he inferred we were ungrateful. We fucked it up. Like,
yes,
you know,
he did. There is that. That is true.
You Saxon bastard, get on here.
Here, just keep your powder dry because the twos are back on again in 3 weeks. I'm making popcorn for that.
No, we're not doing that again. Like, I've had enough. As I've said, I don't think I can cope with any more abuse online. I've had enough. Like, I have the temerity to say anything negative about Sansom. I get butchered. He's quite popular, clearly.
Yeah.
Would that be cherry popcorn?
Mr. Herbert, like, did he fucking like, it's got to stop now.
Hey, I tell you what, 42. There was, do you know that stream you done the other day with you? Is his name Jim Davidson?
Yes.
And Ragnar. I made a comment on it, and I weren't blowing smoke up his ass. That was an absolute belter of a stream. That you covered like 100 subjects in like an hour and a half, and it was an absolute belter. Such a good stream.
Yeah, John's a really good guy, and that.
Oh, John, sorry, Jim. Figure of the fucking Jim Davison, the fucking the comedian.
Yeah, he's a really good guy, and he's got that manifesto up and running, and got the political party up and running, and he can't speak highly enough of him. The ideas of that party are all really sound. It's the only political party I've ever joined. I've been pretty much interested in politics most of my life, and I vote all the time. I never miss a vote, but what he's doing there is something new and very good. But thanks very much, mate, for what you said about the stream.
No, you said there you've been into politics. You've always voted. Every time I voted for the last, say, 10 years, I've spoiled my ballot paper. Like, literally, I've just put none of these parties represent me. because they fucking don't.
That's
All the
what's
way
not-
around here in Liverpool, they vote for the Labour Party, where like you could put a badge on a pedo and they vote for the Labour Party. Every time I spoil my ballot paper, your vote
so
doesn't mean nothing around here,
Scott
mate.
Sarmer did that at the last local elections. He wrote in his attempts to spoil his ballot paper, he wrote fannies. So like you know where you put your you've got all the boxes to put a tick. He just put F the top box, aid, you know what I mean. But he just wrote fannies. Quite right, because they are perfectly.
Yeah,
None of these parties represent me.
Toffee, was the Lord Mayor of Liverpool in the shit for some sort of fraud or something about a year ago?
Yeah, there's an MP, check a genealogy, called Luciana Berger, who represents us, who's not from round here. Check her background. Need I say anymore?
Yeah, I feel for the people of Liverpool that have a functioning brain, because you elect people that
What do you
are.
jump in? Clive's wanting a link. He's in the comments. Can I fire the link to no chance?
Do you know what? In fact, I was talking to a lad the other night off Telegram. I didn't realise he was a Scouser. And I got on him and we were speaking with each other. And I was like, are you like relating to this weird far left foam and mouth Scouser stereotype that everyone thinks? And he was like, nah, I don't know what it is. There's some weird myth that we're these left-wing freaks. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about when we got on next week. Is the Republican influence in this city. Do you know when you get this Scouse not English shite? That is just absolutely. It's either. So I don't want to say too much. It's black people from Toxteth and Irish people. That's what it is. That is literally what this Scouse not English is. You'd think that Liverpool was just this barren land before the Irish arrived and blacks arrived, and it's not the fucking case at all. Most people up here are based as fuck, and it's just this weird misconception that with these fucking foaming left-wing Scousers, and it's not the case at all.
Well, they are incredibly vocal.
They are, that's big time, yeah. That's what it is.
Guys, can we just come on? Clive Chance is in the chat. My best friend, Clive. How are you doing, Gadget?
Hello.
You're right, like gay.
All right.
You probably got a better opinion than me.
Stuffy.
You've probably got a better opinion than I have on the Glasgow question. Because Glasgow is the same principle pertaining to the Irish Republican shit, and you're kind of you're a Ouija, aren't you? So you might have a better opinion than I do.
Right, opinion on what?
On the Irish influence on Glasgow.
Oh, it's I don't know, the way I look at the Irish influence in Glasgow is the way everyone else looks at it, is the whole Celtic versus Rangers thing, Catholic versus Protestants. It's not much deeper than that, and you've got Catholic areas and Protestant areas, and back in the day it used to be a lot worse than what it is now. I do think that the whole coexisting thing is more common than it once was. But my dad, he's a Catholic. He grew up in a Catholic area, and there was points of the time where he would hide a chib at one end of the bridge, and then he would take the chib to the other side of the bridge for his journey back through it, just in case someone tried to jump him for being a Catholic. So it was all territorial. But now that it's not as bad as it once was, do people get
no
kicked?
chance.
Fuck you. Sorry, on you.
Can I ask you, mate? Do you know, say Celtic Rangers up here, Liverpool, Everton? Do you have other fans sitting in the other stands in the ground? Because we'll have Evertonians sitting in the Liverpool stand and vice versa. Is that like legit up in Scotland or
No,
I don't see that happening in Scotland,
No.
to be honest. It might do,
Nah.
but I don't see it happening because if there was any whiff of it, they would be quickly ejected in
Right,
some
yeah.
manner.
Yeah, Toffee, you're talking about the Merseyside derby where it's not segregated seating. They have the same
No,
amount
it's
of
not at all. We'll have people sitting next to each other, Evertonians and fucking Copites just sitting next to each other.
Yeah, no. If that happened in Glasgow, or if it happened in Belfast, you'd have dead people. People would die.
Yeah, fucking
Yeah,
hell.
just to pick up, on no chance there.
Call him Clive.
When I lived in Philadelphia in the early 1990s, it was much the same there. There was this big thing between the Catholics and the Protestants, or WASPs, as they called them, the white Anglo-Saxon Protestants.
Yeah.
And I remember being in a place called the Commodore Barry Club, and they didn't like me because I was a Protestant then, and all very pro-IRA, by the way, 42.
No,
And I mentioned I was in the British Army, and they literally threw me out physically. Threw me out, two guys down the steps, out of the club.
They didn't dislike you because you were Protestant. They disliked you because you were British, and they do not see themselves as British. But what they attempt to do is put it across as a Protestant Catholic thing because that's easier to sell, and it hurts their cause if they were to come out and be honest and say, "Look, we're Irish, we're not British, we don't like the British, and it doesn't matter we're living in Britain, we still don't like the British." And
but they were also very pro-IRA. That was part of it.
Aye, the subtext is Prodi versus Catholic. Like, you can pretend it isn't, but it definitely is about.
But you know what's weird, Randy? Yeah, we've got with the I'm an Evertonian. Goodison Park is the only stadium in the world that's got a church built into it, St. Luke's Church, and we're traditionally a Catholic team. But it seems to have gone backwards on itself, where Everton are very much a loyalist team and Liverpool are a Republican. And maybe it's due to Liverpool being a more successful club, so more people support them. But Everton are very much a more loyalist thing. Like, I've never seen an Irish flag in Goodison. You see plenty of them in Liverpool, in Anfield. Like,
here, no chance. I have a question for you.
Call him Clive. Come on, we're on first name terms. Like, come on.
Right.
Stop spreading this Clive shite.
Right. If the conflict between the British and the Irish is about Protestant and Catholicism, can you please explain to me why or how it dates back to before the Reformation, whenever we were all Catholic?
Mate, I don't know the lore of it, but I understand my own experience is it is Catholic versus Protestant, and you can pretend it isn't, but it is. There's no denying it. And don't get me wrong, I grew up as a Celtic fan, but the most annoying cunts on the planet to me are the Catholics.
Second to Copites.
The Catholics are the most annoying cunts on the planet because the Rangers fans, the Prodies, as it's known in Glasgow, they seem more level-headed, where they'll talk about things in real terms, whereas the Catholics, the Celtic fans, it'll just be, what do they not like? Or they don't like that, so I like it. And it's just like fucking bollocks. It just like none of it makes sense, where it's like, oh, they it's like, oh, they like the Queen, so I think the Queen's a cow. You're like, fuck off. Like, there's no thought process. There's nothing involved in what you're saying. It's just that person likes that, so I don't like. So you're like, I like red. Oh, fuck you. I like blue. You're like, you're just a fucking moron. And that's like any time I look at like Celtic fans or even Palestinian flags, Ukrainian flags, it's just like, what do they not like? And it's just bollocks. So it might look as if what I said originally was a bit like pro-Catholic. It's not. My dad's a Catholic. My mum's a proddy. Like,
this is where I think the Irish thing comes into it, though, because a lot of these Antifa types and whatnot that are in Glasgow, and it's very prominent in Glasgow, they have, a lot of them are they're Irish. Like, they're pro-Republic and whatnot, which you don't need to be Irish to be pro-Republic. But what I'm meaning is they're Irish descendants. And that stuff irritates me. Eh? Like, if you're that obsessed with the concept of a republic, like, well, there's a country waiting for you where you can go and enjoy and embrace that and be a republic enjoyer. Like, then you fucking start arguing for that here. But that's what they're doing.
It's 100% the same down here, DJ. 100% the same thing. Just Republicans.
Liverpool and Glasgow, they are like twin cities in the sense of the sort of subversion that's happening, politically speaking, in the aforementioned cities. They're Irish. Like, not all, but a lot of them are. Like, there's no denying it. You know, Celtic fans, as we've already discussed, but, you know, that's derivative of fucking sort of Irish descent anyway. So,
yeah, to give you an example, do you remember, you're onto the Warrington bombing, the Warrington bomb with the IRA, obviously.
Yeah.
There was a kid who was apparently a hardcore Evertonian, well before my time, like, one of them who died in the Warrington bomb was a hardcore Evertonian, like a season ticket holder, all that. And we had, Everton had banners in the Gladys Street and that saying, like, fuck the Ra, up the UDA, all that, for years and years and years. There was nothing like that with Liverpool FC. Liverpool FC had never had nothing that was
I was
anti-IRA.
See, when I was at secondary, I was a Celtic fan. I was like, see, when Henrik Larsson was at Celtic, and Martin O'Neill, that's when I liked Celtic. And I get chucked out of science for humming the sash. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I was not humming the sash. What the fuck are you? Like, but no, I get chucked out for I was just humming. But obviously the guy that ran the class was like, "Yeah, fucking sash cunt."
Henrik Larsson was about to strike a leg.
Would you say that?
Henrik Larsson was a belter striker.
Oh, mate, Henrik Larsson, Martin O'Neill. That's when I liked football. Now
I don't want to talk about Henrik Larsson, like, because I'm an Aberdeen fan, and I remember the butchering that he used to. Well, I'm not really. I don't like football, but
what do you think of one of our icons down here? What do you think of Duncan Ferguson?
Like, you know, to be fair, the only reason I actually started to like Aberdeen when I was a wee boy is because they wore red kits, and I like red. Like, you know, like, it's got nothing to do with, like, you know, intrinsic loyalties. But
I loved Aberdeen because the sheep had tight arseholes, and I was like, bah.
You know, but like, at least like you know, Indonesians have like high IQs and stuff. So, like, fuck off.
Did you say sheep have high IQ?
Well, you know, if you had a high intellectual IQ, you'd know what I said, wouldn't you?
You're a bad boy.
That's a really good
joke.
What
do you think of Duncan Ferguson, lads? He's like one of our icons. Duncan Disorderly.
Oh, I like Duncan.
Duncan
He's
Ferguson?
the only person to receive a criminal record for fucking assaulting someone on a football field.
But not only that, some lunatic attempted to break into his house and get seven shades of shit out of him.
Twice, literally. Someone broke into his house. He kept them fucking hostage and smashed their heads in. Just some scary, scary man from the Highlands, mate. Scary guy.
I don't know who the fuck this guy is, to be honest.
Duncan Ferguson.
I've never heard of him.
Look him up, Deej. Fucking hell, he's a legend.
He's a cheater, isn't he?
How many games did he play for Scotland?
Sorry?
How many games did Duncan play for Scotland?
No, he fell out with Walter Smith, who was the Scotland manager, so...
Yeah, I fell out with him. He's the best centre forward Scotland ever had.
Yeah, that's it. Literally, on your onto that story, Deej.
All I know is in
Wait a minute, let me see my
'66,
screen.
England won the World Cup.
Yeah, like I've never heard of this guy, but this is the first image I see when I googled this guy. So
He's 6'5", a scary fucking proper pig from the mountains. One day, right? That's him. That's the lad. One day, right? Get on this. This is fucking brilliant. This, right? He's got a house in Formby. 2 little fucking Scouser scallies broke into his house. He smashes one of them up. One gets away, and he kept one of them hostage and just fucking tortured them for like an hour till the police came. And then when the police came, the hostage was like, "Oh my God, get me away from this man." Duncan Ferguson, mate. What a guy. He's a legend up these ways, Duncan.
I've literally never heard of him.
What a legend. Did they hum
Are
the
you
sash
onto
in
him, no
science?
chance?
Did they hum the sash in science?
I was going to ask 42. Do you have any experience of this in Northern Ireland? Does that happen between football teams?
Right. Let's see. There was a football team. Belfast Celtic had to leave the league because due to crowd trouble. The way Northern Ireland's divided, you go to separate schools. For the most part, you play different sports. We borrow books from different libraries. We go have our recreation in different parks or different parts of one large park. Everything is all very divided. And then you have the current Catholic team in Northern Ireland would be Cliftonville Football Club. And historically, there was quite a lot of crowd trouble every time they played. That has calmed down. The last time we had bad trouble at a football pitch was actually between Glentoran and Linfield, 2 Protestant teams. There was a pitch invasion. There was a running battle in the middle of the pitch. But it's... Having said that, we don't need football to have a nice threat. We have probably 70 mile of peace wall across the city where you've got one community living on one side and a different community living on the other.
Mate, that's interesting. I'm pretty ignorant on the subject. So do you know the wall that goes like between the Falls and the Shankill?
Yeah.
Is that if you literally got like a big fuck off wall that just divides them 2 roads? I'm very ignorant on it.
Yes, there are. The one between the Shankill and the Falls is not the only one. There's a big fuck off wall around about 200 yards from my house, and there's the people like me that live on this side of it. There's people that are Irish that live on the other side of it. There's a golf ball exchange scheme that goes on where golf balls get through from one side to the other and back again. If something put it this way, a Rangers Celtic match has been known to cause 3 days of rioting on Springfield Road, where groups of people. What happens is you start off and you get small groups of people, one side of the wall or the other, and gathering, and then there'd be stones thrown, and then the police come and get themselves in between it. It used to be the army came, but with the army's off the streets now, and they're basically trying to keep the 2 rival sides apart. In 2012, during there was a whole big thing about Union flag protests. The local council voted to take the Union flag off Belfast City Hall, and it now only flies 18 days a year instead of 365. And there was loads of protests about that. And at one stage, round about 70 yards from my house, there was, 50 odd meat wagons, 2 water cannons, and a mobile jail sitting at the bottom of the street whenever they were pushing the Protestants back up the Castlereagh Road.
It's mad, mate, because obviously anyone who doesn't live there cannot relate to it. Where I live was considered one of the worst sink estates in Western Europe. We used to get called Smack City, and we used to consider it round here pretty rough. But we haven't got fucking nothing on that level. Nothing. You just can't relate to Northern Ireland. It's a unique situation in Western Europe, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Chat away, lad. I'm going to look for a couple of pictures here. So if you can sort of chat amongst yourselves, give me a chance to find this.
Can I tell you about the time I nearly died in Belfast?
Oh, no.
Go for it.
Go for it.
Right, well, I was doing a lot of work in Ireland, right?
Is this going to be a joke, Steve?
Sorry?
Clive, you don't know. You just don't know when it's Clive.
No, you don't. It seems like it's going to be a joke, doesn't it?
No, mate, it's not a joke. That's a true story. See, a few weeks before, I was working in Dublin, and then I done a lot of work in Belfast, and then I tried to reference something that happened in the Republic of Ireland to boys I was talking to in Northern Ireland. And see, when you're trying to talk about something, you're trying to maybe say reference something, you get lost for words, and you're spending time trying to think about what that thing is. And I nearly said when I was in Northern Ireland, instead of the Republic, when I was in the Republic, I almost said, see, when I was in the real Ireland. And I was honestly a ball hair away from saying that. And it was to the point where my heart was racing. I'm like, holy fuck. See, if I said that, I would not be getting home to my family. Do you know what I mean? I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. But I managed to find my words. But and it wasn't that I thought one was more or less than the other, but it was just that I was thinking,
Yeah.
Instead of Republic, I was like, real. I was like, see if that slipped out my mouth, I'd be fucking dead.
You probably would, to be fair. Oh, Jesus.
But yeah, that's the time I nearly died in Ireland.
But no,
apparently, they used to get little dickheads that they didn't like in the British Army to walk in. Now, when it was Londonderry, you used to get British Army people who didn't like to walk into pubs and be like, yeah, I'm in Londonderry in Catholic areas just to fucking cause shit. What a crazy place, mate. Fucking hell, Belfast.
Yeah, I was going to say to you that as well, Clive, though, while you were over there, though, how did they, treat you? Because, did they see you as British or did they see you as Scottish? The only reason I asked that is I've always noticed something very perplexing when I used to go on holiday and that when I was younger, that people, it didn't matter which country I was in. It wasn't me doing the talking I was a child, but my family oh, so you're British when we were in America or Italy or Germany. They would always start off.
You're from Scotland, England.
The minute they find out you're Scottish, they just they might as well just win a blowy. They love you. How is it? How was the decorum?
But the most annoying thing for a Scot in America is you're from Scotland, England. You're like, no, I'm from Scotland. England's a separate country. Scotland, England doesn't exist.
There was one time when I was not I say it, I go there every week, but we were in when we were in New York, and then we went to this cafe that was near the hotel that we were staying in, and it was an Italian hotel slash restaurant type thing. And then this guy, he was a total wanker, mouthing off, yeah, I got it. When people barking orders at him and shit. But when he found out we were Scottish, his decorum totally changed. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is. They really don't like people. It seemed like My question was, like,
we tend to
when
do
you were in
better with-
Ireland, did you
we-
have that treatment, or were you kind of like treated like, oh, you're Scottish, yeah, like you're better? And I don't mean
No.
that we're better. I'm just meaning, you know. What I mean?
I have noticed generally Scots are treated better than the English abroad.
Fucking right, girl. What, they wear sandals with socks. What the fuck do they expect? Like,
But when you talk about like northern
Mate,
versus
you can throw Scousers into that. We're treated the same as Scottish. We're not treated the same as English people. We're like this weird separate thing that we're like, we're Scousers sort of thing.
it's so strange, eh? The first question is always, "Are you British?" And they're like, then it's like they try to gauge you, you know. They're like, "Are you English?" No, I'm not English. I'm Scottish. Oh my god! Like, have some
No.
free cake. You want a beer? It's on the house.
Just
budget.
want a beer.
Like,
don't get me wrong, I love my English brothers.
I'm
But
not
see-
slagging them off either.
No, but I mean, let's see when you hear an American say, "What do you mean Scotland, England?" You're like, "Fuck up." Yeah, fuck
I
off,
know,
yeah.
eh? You just want to slap them about. Yeah, like, what are you doing?
Aye. But to answer your question, I had no issues in Northern Ireland or the Republic of Ireland. Like, it was the same regardless. Like there's no difference. We're both very nice people.
Probably because you were
Treated me very
Scottish.
well.
I mean, even if you look at the history of the IRA, they never actually like did anything to Scotland. It was just England.
See, but the 42 might fucking chime in here, but see
I'm probably, you know,
the good thing with the IRA, and I don't know.
Good thing with the IRA. Be careful.
I know.
The only good thing about the IRA is there's a shit load of them in the fucking grave.
Right. What I'm saying is, what I've heard, you can shout down, you shout me down all you want, but I've heard that the IRA did phone ahead and say,
No, you're correct.
Oh, right, hold on. Yeah,
He's correct there. He's correct what he just said there.
basically saying, like, by the way, there's a bomb here. You better evacuate, and then we're going to blow fuck
He is
out
correct there.
Right.
And you go, right, okay, fair enough. I don't agree with what they've done,
Right.
but I agree with the whole warning in advance.
Do you want to know how the reality of that worked out?
Oh,
They sent round about 5 phone calls for every bomb in a 4-mile location, and therefore there was a lot of times there was people getting cleared from a bomb scare where there wasn't actually a bomb in the places where there was a bomb. They gave 0 fucks about how many people they killed. Right, they set off 24 bombs in Belfast city centre within a period of 90 fucking minutes.
Fucking hell! You know, this is the perfect opportunity for me to call out
Right.
somebody.
That
guy Dragon Energy. Sorry, I'll let you jump in. That guy
Right.
Dragon Energy on Telegram. He jumps about from YouTube live stream, always simping for the IRA. They killed people. So, like, I just think it's fucking class. But anyway, carry on. Sorry.
No, yeah, mate. Once you start fucking blowing up fucking civilians, mate, any moral high ground has gone out the window.
I
And they can go fuck themselves.
Just a fucking faggot, if I'm honest.
Right.
Like,
Here, have a look at this picture. This is close to where I live. So you've got this house in Clean Place, and you've got this wall that was put sort of round the outside. The short strands the other side of that wall. Then they put another bit on the top of it, and then they put another bit on the top of that again. And these walls separating places in Northern Ireland are like there's lots of them.
I'm trying
to see a hotel I stayed in. You could see the barriers from the hotel. It was fucking mental. And it's completely foreign to anyone that stays in the mainland.
Yeah. Do you know, saying that though, no chance. Me and 42 were talking the other day. There's an area, there's a club in Everton where I live called the Derry Club, and it just looks identical to this. It's like a weird fucking, like it's just been placed in Liverpool. It's like a mad loyalty. It's a good place, like, to be fair. I've been to a few weddings there.
Now, I mean, this you can answer this if you want, 42, but do you think it'll get to a point where the Irish will just go, basically, fuck previous conflicts between Catholics and Proddies? We've got like 1 million Africans that have been told they're now going to have the same home as everyone else.
To be fair, that's something I have actually posted when he was on the stream with me in Scott's Armour.
Not a chance. Not a fucking chance. Here's the thing: the people that are here and live this, we know that it's not about religion. We know it's about nationality. That's what this is about. The Irish will not be happy until there are no British people in Ireland at all.
I would say
I can see
it's like you're going, we can have more black people than you.
Right,
Despite turning your nose up at the British, we've got more black people.
There's too many people talking.
No, all I'm saying is, though, like when you say British, like, and I'm not meaning this coming from the perspective of being like anti-union or not. All I'm saying is just like they don't actually have a problem with like Scottish people. It's just English people or the English.
They
never bombed Scotland.
The people in
English.
The people in Ireland do not see the people of Northern Ireland as British, right? And they do not want us in this country. They want anything that looks remotely British out of Ireland. They want it gone. And there's two ways this is going to end. If they have their way, they will have us out of Ireland one way or other, probably in a box. And it's going to come down to whether or not the authorities decide to let them.
So what you're saying, 42, is that people of Ireland would rather see Northern Ireland full of immigrants than who they consider British.
Exactly.
Yep. Yes, 100%. Here's the thing: they still call the British people in Northern Ireland planters.
Can I chime in, like, if you don't mind?
Yeah.
I mean, I find that hard to believe myself. Because there are obviously many Catholics in Northern Ireland who think themselves as Irish. In fact, I'm sure you see yourself as Irish. So I don't see how they could possibly.
You see yourself as.
Oh no!
Right, can I chime in? I know. Yep. I probably agree with Rory, but Republic of Ireland, you're talking about like just shy of like 5 million people, population wise, and I know there was some promise of having like 1 million of outsiders.
It's 2.5 million. They want to basically double their.
Last I checked, and it was 1 million,
right?
Which is like a fifth of the population, which is ridiculous. But to me, if Irish people, whether you're the Republic or Northern, surely it should be there should be kinship over being Irish. But I just don't see.
No, but this is what you're not getting.
One thing, Ulster, Northern Ireland's not the same as Southern Ireland because, historically speaking, the vast majority of Ulster's Scots, that's what they call them, Ulster, they're either Scottish or they're Scandinavian. They're not even Irish. So, like, if you're going to go
but the way I look at it is that me like stamping my feet and screaming that you're a chuchter, and then accepting Africans and going, I'd much prefer Africans to DJ.
But not route, then you could make the same sort of comparative between like, oh well, I don't want fucking English people here, but I'll accept Polish. Like, if you're going to go down like
but that's a totally separate thing.
Ulster is 42. I want you to chime in here because you'll know more than I do because I don't know that much about it. But am I not correct in saying that Ulster is full of mainly two demographies, and that is Scottish people? A lot after the Highland clearances, a lot of the Highlanders went to Ulster, and Scandinavians. Am I right in saying that? Yeah?
Ulster, the people of Ulster are generically called Ulster Scots. There's been mixture of Ulster people and Scottish people going back for thousands of years, and the conflict in this island began round about 250 to 500 BC, whenever the Celts arrived from Central Europe, and the British people of Ulster and the Irish people are two different peoples.
But mate, when you look at the difference between Ulster Scots, like whatever way you're separating it, it'd be much more beneficial that they have Ulsters, Irish people, than fucking Africans.
Yeah, but
I get what you're saying, but they are two different people. Like, I understand what you're saying, but they are two different people. Like,
and the other thing you're forgetting is
what we're looking at is the reality of the situation. If you can explain the reality to Northern Irish versus the Republic of Ireland, they are more likely to get together based on the common claim to the land. Like you could separate all you want, but
the people in the Republic of Ireland see themselves as Irish. They've got a claim to the land and whatnot. No one's disputing that. But the vast majority, not all, and this isn't really a subject I'm the most confident about speaking about. This is 42 subject, but the people that make up the majority, and there's only 2 million people in Northern Ireland, they are Scottish and Scandinavian.
It doesn't matter.
That's that DJ's right. Just think, if you look at Northern Ireland and Scotland, look at the distance that it's separated by. It's a tiny, tiny distance.
Yep.
The Ulster Scots. This is what the Ulstermen are. They're not Irish people.
So when they
I don't know.
42 said earlier on that the people in the Republic of Ireland, then you see the people in Ulster or Northern Ireland as British. As Irish. Sorry, they see them as British. Well, he's technically correct in saying that, albeit because they just see them as Scottish or outsiders. Like they're not people.
The point I'm trying to get across is it doesn't matter.
Right, I need to address this. Edmund has said 42. Are you saying if there was United Ireland, they would want us to leave? No, they would want to murder us. It's called a fucking genocide that they're going on about. Nah.
Well, you'll always have a home in Scotland. I'd rather.
No, but this is the issue I have. It's all bullshit, fantasy, bollocks. See when it comes to
it's history and it means.
No. I'm not saying. No, right. Let me finish my piece and then you can chime in. But what I'm saying is when you look at the Republic of Ireland versus Northern Ireland, and you look at the way the Republic are trying to replace the Irish people with Africans and people from Asia, surely shouldn't that, right? Wait a minute. I know there's historic pain, there is historic issues, but when you look at the real problem from a level-headed point of view, instead of you're Catholic or you're Protestant, when you look at the big picture, surely the fight should be, you can still defend being from Northern Ireland and the Republic, but the fight should be unifying against being replaced by Africans and Asians.
Well, first of all, you're talking to one of the people from the wrong side of that story, because it's the Irish nationalists that are wanting to bring in all the fucking foreigners. It's not me once saying here. It's the Irish nationalists are on that.
I've listened. I've done many jobs in Northern Ireland, and I've listened to a lot of your fucking radio programs. I've listened to a lot. I know I don't think you've had a government in a while, but the people that are in control, they all talk about diversity. They talk about the same shit. that we
You're
talk about. So to try and pretend that it's the Republic issue, let every
no
cunt
chance
is
of
saying the
saying
same
there.
thing.
Right, no chance. But the people you're listening to are.
What he's saying there, you literally said that the other day. We were talking to each other, and everything No Chance has just said that. You were saying like the fucking they're saying the same thing, like the fucking so-called
Right.
Protestants are just bringing this shit in. So it's not just the Republicans, mate.
No, you're the diversity culture. That's Sinn Féin, SDLP, Alliance Party, Green Party. It's not the DUP, and it's not the Democratic Unionist Party, and it's not the traditional Unionist Voice. That's going for all this diversity and all. It's not.
You're on to Jolene Bunton.
Oh fuck.
Did you hear what she was saying the other day? Like the fucking on the fucking Shankle, you've got like drag queen shit and that.
No, that wasn't on the Shankle. That was in the Mac Theatre, which is the government sort of fund that theatre. That's where they had that drag queen story hour thing. But Jolene Bunton, God bless her, she could do a bit of an education. She's a bit of a.
Saying is the Catholics aren't to blame for the state of Northern Ireland.
No, government, they're not. All they did was blow it the fuck up. You know, they just spent 40 years planting fucking bombs. Obviously, they're not to blame for the country being in a shithole. Because everybody knows that bombs makes everywhere better. Spent 40 years fucking putting bombs on their policemen's cars. Spent 40 years fucking shooting people on the street. Of course, that's not going to cause any problems whatsoever. Really good.
Mate, you're kind of strawmanning what I'm saying.
No, I'm not strawmanning. Here's my problem. We were told for years and years and years that the ordinary decent Catholic doesn't want anything to do with the IRA, doesn't want anything to do with violence. They don't support in any way, shape, or form. But you know what to do? Every time they get a chance, they come out and they vote fucking terrorists under the government. So yes, I can brush them with it. If they've got a choice, they've got nationalist parties that have got nothing to do with terrorism, and they choose
saying that they've got a nationalist party is like saying that the SNP are a nationalist party. It's it's no the same. Like, I understand your animosity towards Catholics. I get it. I understand the animosity for prods from Catholics. Like, I get the conflict. I understand the history. I get that. But we're not talking about a historic conflict that happened way back when.
No,
what we're talking about is a globalist agenda that's happening worldwide. Well, when I say worldwide, Western wide. It's happening in every Western nation, regardless of what conflict you had previously. Like, I get your focus. I understand your issue, but this is not it's not a Catholic thing. It's not a.
No, it's
not historically, but it's no now.
No, well, here's
that's
the
what I'm saying. Like,
no chance. You're talking as if the troubles here have stopped. They have not.
I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the issues you're pointing out just now as a problem for your nation is not. It's not the Catholic problem. It's not some historic conflict that happened way back when. I get that conflict. I understand it. I sympathise. I've got family that are saying both sides, but that's not what's going on just now. You can reminisce and say this is what happened way back when, therefore this is happening now. It isn't what's happening. This is happening Western-wide.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, no, Charles. I agree with you there.
Sorry,
you have to look forward and see where the real danger lies.
It's not on top of that as well. I said this. I can't remember where I might have said it. I think I said it on the stream that I did the other day, though. That like when the local elections took place across the UK, Sinn Féin got in Northern Ireland by one extra vote, but the SNP, Clyde Crumney, whatever the fuck I can't say their name, and the SNP, they're all saying the same thing. They're all like they're allegedly a nationalistic parties, but they all promote social justice, etc. It's not. It might, historically speaking, yeah, it was quite clearly, quite evidently based on religious conflicts, but now it's just political ideology. That's what it is.
Look, the IRA's main aim is the same now as it always was, which is the creation of a one-party socialist state within the island of Ireland.
Yeah, but that's what I just said. It's not based on religion now. It's based on
no. It never was, but it was easier to sell it as Protestant as Catholic because
Scotland now has a one-party state in Scotland. That's the reality,
which is absolutely identical to.
But it's not a Catholic versus Prodi thing.
No,
that's not what it is. This is just the reality of mass propaganda. Them getting involved in children from a young age. Like, we're all experiencing the same problem. And I do, like, 42, don't get me wrong, I'm not, like, discounting the experience you've had. I'm not, like, poo-pooing all the shit that happened historically. I get that. But that's not what's happening right now.
Yes, but on top of the fact that I get that what's happening across the Western world, there is a Marxist takeover, and they want to move in lots and lots and lots of news people. I know that is a problem that everybody in the Western world has. However, on top of that, I have got people that live less than a mile away from me that want me dead because I'm British. And that's not something that was in the past and has now gone away. This is still going on now today. It's a lot quieter. If you walk home from Belfast city centre to where I live, you've now got a 50% chance of getting mugged as opposed to 100% chance of getting mugged that we used to have. I get that it's better, but it's not fixed and it's not over.
No, mate, honestly, like, I'm not saying that doesn't exist.
But
like,
42.
Sorry, on you go, mate.
Would you prefer the situation as it is now, or have a load of immigrants behind the peace war who want to kill you because you're white?
Here's the thing. Either way, it's the same to me. Now, I can't get there's nothing that the British community can do to get the Irish community to accept us. Oh, here, the picture that I threw up on the wall, it isn't because of the shape of it, but it says on here, it's on from Newton Arch Road. The Ulster conflict is about nationality. It's not, this isn't me being totally off the wall and saying that it's not about religion, it's about nationality. And it happens to be that how religion came into it was at the Reformation. Everybody that was loyal to King Henry VIII, him with the many wives, transformed to Protestant Catholics in the Church of England, Church of Ireland, and those who were loyal to Rome stayed Roman Catholic. And that put, on top of everything else, that put, I think that's Toffee back in. Yes, back in. That put,
sorry.
That gave another badge to the same group of people. But this is not over a Bible and a Book of Common Prayer.
Can I chime in? 42.
Yeah.
Now, again, I always want to reiterate, I'm not trying to discount what you're saying. All I'm trying to talk about is the kind of wider issue. So, say for talking's sake, like I know the conflict always existed. I've got family in kind of both sides. I've got Irish background. Resisting the Lies might kick me out of the country at some point for having.
Well, you're going to Sweden, Clive, so you know you might.
Right, we'll see the writing's on the wall there, but all I'm saying is, and I don't mean this in any way of disrespecting you. I do. I listen to your streams. I appreciate you, but what I'm seeing from what we've spoke about today is there is some deep-rooted hatred, and it's prevalent, and that's kind of what educates your worldview, if that makes sense. Whereas what I'm kind of looking at, before you interject, just what I'm looking at is the bigger picture, and I've spent a lot of time in Ireland, the Republic, Northern, and as much as what you're saying is true, the historic conflict, everything that's going on, but I think that the wider issue, every Western nation at the moment is facing it, and I think that if the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland can understand that both parties are experiencing the same issue, that with demographic change, there's all these, they're dedicated to certain immigration targets, which are fucking mental. When you look at, I think what did I say earlier? It was like 5 million, the population, and then they're wanting 1 million. So that's like a fifth of the population they want to replace fucking pronto. And I think that's a bigger problem than religious conflicts that they had before. And I get that they can be fun, or there are deep-rooted hatred. There is a variety. Like I've got a lot of friends that are diehard Celtic fans, diehard fucking Rangers fans, and some of them see it as fun. Others see it as some historic thing. But regardless of what enjoyment they get out of that fucking conflict, we should manage to come together to push against whatever is happening to every nation across the West.
Yep.
100% agree with no chance there. 100%.
It would make perfect sense for all the people of Ireland, Northern Ireland and Republic of Ireland, to come together and resist the invasion that's currently happening. However, the people of Ireland, the Irish people, like the immigrants more than they like the British people. And they see in Northern Ireland, the Irish nationalists, well, supposedly Irish nationalists, the people call themselves Irish nationalists, but they're not, they're communists or Marxists. They see the immigration as a way to remove the British.
Yeah, you're right there, but it's, as we've seen, it's the Protestants are doing the exact same thing as no chance.
I just like, sorry to butt in, Toffee, but what you just said there, 42, is not something that I witnessed. I stayed in a few hotels and kind of.
By the way, lad, I'm a loyalist, mate. I'm not going against you here. 42. Sorry.
No, but like, I'm not. Like, I don't care where you stand. I'm just trying to talk about like, matter of fact, what I experienced. Like you can disagree all you want. I don't care. Like that's what makes these conversations interesting. And I'm not having a go at 42 or try to.
Here, no chance. Just let me get this very clear. We're having a decent conversation, and everything's all
I'm
fine.
enjoying it.
Yep.
I'm loving it.
No,
I am.
I'm enjoying it too, you know, and there's no offense being taken, and this is a place where we can fucking come together
dialogue.
Yeah, have a good dialogue, because it's important and it's interesting.
No, I mean,
so
I'm glad you've said that. Like, I think this is more interesting than everyone getting together and agreeing. Do you know what I mean? Like, so the odd thing here and there, like I think that's of value. But what I'm going to say is, like, I've stayed in 1 million hotels across the Republic of Ireland, and I know there's a lot of areas that I've stayed in that have been kind of overrun by the government's great idea of bringing in loads of people that are not them.
Oh,
and
the Irish
hotels.
people, the Irish people in Northern Ireland and the Irish people in the Republic of Ireland are two totally different animals.
No, I get that, but I was kind of trying to address the comment you made about like they'd much prefer a load of fucking Africans and Asians opposed to like basically Protestants. Which
Hey, can I give you an example of what you're
I don't
saying
agree
there,
with.
lads? Just a quick one. There's a thing that I've got a problem with here in Liverpool. So, like, we take our, I know it's silly to some people, we take our identity as Scousers pretty seriously. So we've got a shit ton of Somalians and whatever, Jamaicans, whatever, and they're like, yeah, these are as Scouse as you, kind of thing.
Here,
like, no.
Alexander Arnold is Scouser on our team. Fuck off.
Yeah, takes the piss, mate. I find that insulting. It's like taking my identity away from me.
Now, here, the other thing I level about is I've been a Liverpool supporter since I was a kid. Right?
Trust you.
Yeah, fuck. About 1976, I started supporting Liverpool. Right, thereabouts. What I have noticed is I've noticed a change from my small insight because I'm watching it from a fucking different part of the country and I don't go to matches every week and all that sort of stuff. But the Liverpool fans seem to have been getting more political over the last 15 years.
Yep.
You know, it's to the point where I'm glad I don't live in Liverpool or England and have a season ticket because, you know, there's a couple of podcasts I used to watch, Red Man TV and all, that I just don't watch anymore because they're bringing politics into it.
Yeah.
Well,
this Scouse not English thing. Yeah, I'll say now, this Scouse, we all know the term Scouse not English, it's a fucking dickhead. That is entirely rooted in republicanism. That's what that is. It's like the Irish separatist part of the city who's like Scouse not English. That's entirely what that is. They're like separating themselves from the English. I'm half Scottish, my ma's Scottish, but I'm an Englishman as well as a Scouser. And I hate that fucking Scouse not English shit. It makes us look like dickheads.
Oh, here's a question. What actually is a Polish Scouse?
Well, listen, do you know what it is, right? It comes from Irish immigrants who used to work in Tamaled, which is a shipyard in Birkenhead. So it was just literally the food that they ate, which was just poor man's food with potatoes, bit of beef, bit of carrots. That's literally where it comes from.
Yeah.
Of course, it was potatoes.
Yeah.
I was just going to mention very quickly, there is that wonderful phrase, boo like Millwall, over those who took the knee for BLM. I think that will go down in history.
No one likes us, we don't care. Millwall.
Well, our Northern Ireland team have still not taken the knee or done anything for that Northern Ireland national team. Watching the England team fucking here's another fucking thing. The England national football team kneel for Black Lives Matter. There were Harry Keane, the captain, wears the rainbow armband. Now they're going to go and play a World Cup in Qatar in stadiums that were built by black slaves in a country where being gay gets you 7 years jail. If they're actually serious about that, why don't they boycott the fucking thing? Why are they playing there?
I mean, I'd love if there was like 7 years jail term for being gay. I'd love that.
Clive, why do you always do that? Like, you just like, come on.
Guitar, eh?
Mate, I think that's the
fully supported.
the birthplace of a lot of shit we're experiencing at the moment. See, when you look at the percentage of gays that have been interfered by adults,
Yeah, it's
it's
pretty
an
bad.
overwhelming fucking number. And you go, why? Why are we doing that? Like, what is the fucking, what's the logic behind that?
Well, like, do you not think it's like, what is it with these progressive types that seem to be so retarded that they can't fathom the fact that the more that you politicize and propagandize children, the more they will buy into your shit. In the sense, and what I mean by that is
No,
that
they know that. They know that. That's why they do it.
Clive,
That's
I have
exactly why
been
they do it.
silent for some time now, Clive. My point is that like the kids about like all these different gender identities. Now you've got like little Rupert saying he's non-binary, and then you've got Tony in the back corner saying that he's pansexual, and then they go, well, like this is like we need to be inclusive and we need to embrace this. Not like, do you not think it's because little Rupert and little Tony have read about the shit you're teaching them? No, it's not that like. No, just all of a sudden, little kids are fucking identifying themselves as non-binary and whatnot. I never heard any of this nonsense when I was in school. And guess what? I'm fucking normal.
Mate, like 75, like most countries in the world see this as a sexual perversion. They're just perverts. And to be honest, I was all right with them. I thought, go ahead, be gay, be fucking play Willy Tick if you want. But it's getting to the point where I'm starting to think, are you perverts? Are you like, is there something wrong with you people that you're pushing this on us? I don't feel the need to go around and fucking tell people how much I like fannies. These seem to feel the need to go around and say this. And I'm starting to think that these might be fucking just degenerate perverts.
No, they are, but that's the thing. Like when you look at what the percentage of gays, and then you explore how they end up being gay, there's a lot of interference from when they were younger. It's an overwhelming percentage, and when you look at the whole trans thing, I think it was like they've recently discovered that I think it's like 90. You're 19 times more likely to kill yourself if you go through the transgender surgery than a normal person, because you've been convinced that you're in the wrong body. So say you are some confused person that's going through puberty, which is can all vouch for on this panel.
It's a confusing time, isn't it?
But anyone that's went through puberty, you feel insecure about your own body.
Yeah.
And then they go, oh, well, the insecurity of your pubescent body is because you're a tranny. And then they end up cutting their tits off, or they end up getting some fucking like some hormone treatment, which, see, if you get hormone treatment when you're 11, see your penis, that will stay as an 11-year-old penis. That will never grow. So see if you come off hormones, like say 10 years down the line, which the common thing to go to is you just pause puberty, then you can just restart it. So say you restart puberty, that will then be, you'll have an 11-year-old penis and that will never move. It's not a pausing it, it is a restricting it. And then you'll then go, I've got a fucking tiny micro penis, I'm going to kill myself. And then you kill yourself, and then you end up being a statistic that they claim isn't a thing. But
No,
it is.
It's even more pernicious than that, because what happens is these kids from like 5, 6, and 7 are told that they've got a problem called body dysmorphia, and the solution to that is
tomboy.
Yeah, no, well, they've stopped even tomboys and sissies no longer exist.
No,
so they tell them
body dysmorphia is now known
like
as
anorexia and
a
stuff,
phobia.
That's it, kid. That's the same. Are we going to start telling anorexics, yeah, you're a fat cunt?
No, but
keep starving yourself.
As 42 is rightly pointed out, body dysmorphia is the correct terminology. But now that is seen, but that's now seen as bigotry. So you point out that body dysphoria as a thing is now bigotry. It's horrible.
Imagine having people telling you for 10 to 12 years that, here, I know what you feel shit at the minute and everything's not right, but see, whenever you get the 19, we'll chop your bits off and give you the bits for the opposite gender and make you sort of maybe sort of a little bit look like somebody from the other thing, and then you get this major surgical procedure done, and it doesn't help you any. That's why they kill themselves.
Aye,
because
they believe like if I remove my cock, everything's going to be golden. And then they remove their cock, and then they're still mentally ill retards, and then they kill themselves, and that's what happens. But see, like for talking's sake, like I agree with you. Like there's maybe a small minute percentage that will maybe benefit from getting the surgery.
Right.
And you go, right, okay, right.
Is that what you think, kid? I don't agree with that, mate.
I think when I say small percentage, I mean like 0.5%. I don't mean
like your penis.
Aye,
1 second.
like
There's
my
somebody.
penis, my inverted fucking wizard sleeve.
1 second. There's hold on. Channel announcement. There's somebody called Jimmy trying to get in, but my StreamYards is I can't. My StreamYards limited. Must be because I've got the free version limited to 6 people.
Right, so cheeky Viking.
I can leave if you want. My bedtime.
You've contributed. Cheeky Viking said, "Fuck, I'll punt him."
Oh, it's all right. Jimmy has bounced back out again. I'm guessing it was possibly a Sansom.
Oh, hey, have you seen what goes into the sex change? Have you seen what goes into the sex change operation? So say you change it to a woman, like fucking quote unquote. It's an open wound. So they just slit a fucking thing. It gets interrupted with your fucking fecal matter. So they start shitting out of the fanny. And they have to keep putting an inflatable every few weeks. They have to put an inflatable up their minge to stop the thing, to stop the wound from healing. This is absolutely
the body thinks it's a wound, so it can constantly
right. Can we seriously stop this shit? Like,
come on. It's horrible.
Hold on. You don't get away with this one. They're now asking normal, natural-born women to whenever they wipe their bum, put some on their fanny so as they can experience what having a shitty fanny smells like and how it is for these poor trans people.
I've seen that.
I'm really like, come on now, you're gonna get people turning off in a minute. And like, let's talk about daffodils or fucking rock. Like, come on now.
What are we doing as a fucking
Did all of you talk about Nicola Sturgeon's kind of denouncement of racism?
Yes, that's a great segue. I can get the stuff up. I've got it. Oh, actually, earlier on.
He can get his wound up that he's dilated.
Like, see, like, you know what I mean? Fuck you. Like, you do know if you ever do decide.
Who is Cheeky Viking?
Let me talk. Like,
I'm trying to figure out who Cheeky
You have
Viking
done well up there with this fucking critical race theory, bringing attention to it. You haven't off-wound these fucking cunts up, haven't you?
Oh, it's been brilliant. It's fantastic.
You smashed
it. But Resisting the Lies is a fucking retard. Where like,
I'm a retard, like it.
Nobody's talking about critical race theory.
You know what? If you're gonna get it, like, you know what I mean?
Weaponized autism.
That's it, mate. Weaponized autism.
Somebody mute him. He's crying his eyes out like.
You handle it, like, you can't handle passive aggressive. I look at you muting yourself, you poof. Like, you can't handle it, can you? Like,
no, I meant mute DJ.
No, hey, look at Sensum's comment there. No, don't talk about Nicola Sturgeon's gash.
No, I'm not having that. Like, sense of get your ass in here, because I won't work for you.
I mean, like 42 muted me instead of
you. Oh yeah, you should mute you because you're just a wee wanker, Clive. Like,
This,
sensitive, don't you?
Let's get back on topic.
This is a new stream. This is a new stream rule. Anybody asking for people to get muted gets muted.
No, you should you're like, you know what I mean? Sitting there like, oh, you're passive aggressive, you're kind of sensitive, you know what I mean? You know that I love you, Clivey boy, but you can't be a ball bag at times because you're so fucking girly. Like, fuck's sake.
You know what I mean? Girly.
You're one of my no, I'm not going to
get 3 sons.
You know what I mean? You're one of my
That's how
best
big
friends,
my
but
boys
you're
are.
a fucking wee girl. Like, come on.
Go ahead. What was you talking about?
Like,
I would
I mean,
continue,
joke.
but
I
I'm
mean, a
scared I'll get
fucking
muted.
joke about the fact that he hasn't talked about critical race theory since I've started covering it. And he's like, oh, you're being passive aggressive. Like, come on, Clive. Man up, hey, grow some testosterone.
Mate, he's greeting. You all right? We're all right here.
Well, I'm all right, eh?
Sounds like a fucking Catholic.
Fucking good joke, you Glaswegian dulcet toned boy here.
Sounds like a Catholic.
Yo, Bass is asking, have I heard about bum babies? Bass, I've seen a little bit about it, but I haven't looked into it. I'm not sure.
Punt fucking cheeky. No offense to you, cheeky Viking. You're not saying anything. Punt him and get Sensman here.
Well, the reason I'm not staying in is because I can't get a word in with everyone.
I know who you are. I know who you are.
Well, yeah, like what, you had sex with Roy?
I did 12 times.
What?
We've gone off track here. We are having a decent conversation there, and it's just turned into fucking Scottish people.
Not like Clive gets very aggressive at times, like, you know. And I will be clipping. I will be
DJ's
clipping.
Keep cheeky Viking.
Clivey. You will be getting there will be a YouTube upload soon with you spurting out about me calling you Clive. Oh, God, stop Clive shit, like, you know, wiping your tears with your Andrex.
So what were we going to say about Nicola Sturgeon?
Oh, well, again, it was a great segue, but I'm just saying, like...
I'll send you the link, but I'm scared DJ will greet.
I have one thing to say about Sturgeon.
Why? Oh, she's an attractive lassie.
No, she's got a bush like a Highland granny.
I shared some stuff. I'm just checking my Telegram now and I'll see. Did you see as well? You know that lassie that I have, like that Melina boot. I mean, people might not know. Clive will know, but the messages might not know. Like the one that's like
the anti-racist educator.
Yeah, she said she called it.
Here she has a crush on you.
Fuck that! Like I'd rather shit.
Hey DJ, get on that. You're onto that little Jamaican guy who's or whatever he is, who's like a fucking Scottish thing, and he's done that.
Graham Campbell. I've been ripping him.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Graham is just as Scottish as everyone else on this panel.
Oh my God. Do I have permission? Like, I'll put on a wee Graham Campbell video. But this one is fucking brilliant. Like,
right. Yes. Line it up. I put it up on the screen.
Good Sean McDonald. Get that up, DJ. Get that thing up with that thing that you sent me. That's so funny, that, mate.
Which one? I've sent you quite a lot of shit.
Do you know the little? He was like, he's done like a little rap about fucking how Scottish he is.
I've already done that one on the stream, mate.
Oh my God, that's funny.
No, but this one, he's sitting there. He's like, you know, like people think I'm not Scottish because of my accent. Oh yeah, it's totally the accent. It's not.
You got to kill Tom.
Complexion, like you'll never be Scottish, you Rastafarian prick. I'll find out.
You know what's funny about that? The video was filmed in a jail, and you're like, "What? Do you people like going to jail? Do you?"
See, when I fucking seen that video,
that's him. That's the cunt.
I could not believe it. I sat there like, and I can't explain how hard I cried. It was almost like for the first time my mother tried to cut my fingernails. I was like,
right. Let me cut in here. Do you know what's really annoying?
Is
that shut up, you cunt. A lot of people is for some reason they ask him if he's Jamaican. And you're like, why would anyone doubt his Scottishness? One, he's got an English accent. Two, he dresses and talks like a fucking Jamaican. That it is racist to question his Scottishness. And I don't understand why anyone would question his Scottishness. It's bizarre.
Here we go. Yeah, I've got it, right.
This video is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
This is unbelievable. Like, it's just like, oh, I can't be.
Hey, check out the guitar player. He's like a.
No. That's the dark one. I'm not gonna. Like,
oh no.
This one's better. To be.
I'm just as Scottish as you, boy. Ross, blast.
Yeah.
Great interview, Sling 10 and C1.
I think I would probably be more easily accepted as Scottish if I had the accent. There's no doubt that the accent places people as part of this country, but I'm always asked every time I come back here, oh, are you visiting from London? Nobody thinks when they're asking me if it's a taxi driver, you are from somewhere else. Automatically, that's the assumption. And they ask me, are you from Jamaica? Well, kind of, yeah, I am. But I'm also Scottish.
Pause.
I've lived in Jamaica. You know.
I'm Scottish.
This is basically don't believe your lying eyes and don't believe your lying ears. Hey,
just think how embarrassing it is. Imagine LARPing as another nation because your culture and history is shite and someone else's is better than yours. So you try and take it on. You fucking little loser.
Listen, I travel the country and some people think that I'm English and I don't understand why people think that all of a sudden I'm English. You're like, all right, I'll just ignore what I'm hearing in my ears. And then if you ignore the sound of it, look at them. Some people think that I'm fucking Jamaican. And I don't understand why people think I'm Jamaican.
This is an IQ issue. He's simply got a lower IQ than us. That's what this is.
Scottish I was, and my dad has been in England for all these Scotland. Africanism, and we believe that these names are slavery names, so they're not our real names. But the only way we can trace our real ancestry is through the ones that have got names. So I only know about the Campbells, and I had not changed my name, and I don't know why I hadn't done it. I haven't got round to it, but I'm really glad I didn't because it's the evidence. It's the proof that there's.
Look at that! Fucking hell!
Catapult him to fuck as well.
Because it's the evidence, it's proof that there's this connection to the country, and that I'm as Scottish as any of those white Australians or Americans or white they're still Scottish.
Pause.
It's LARPing and it's embarrassing. I feel embarrassed for him.
It's just a professional.
Right. Analyze what he's just said. Analyze it. He's just said that I'm a poor victim of the West, basically, but I am just as Scottish as an Australian, as a Canadian.
Can you let me play the clip without interrupting so I can stop sharing my screen, please? Like, for fuck's sake.
Mate, I don't know what you're saying, mate. I don't know what the fuck you're saying.
Just you've listened to half of it. All I want you to do is
play it, kid. Go ahead.
Yeah. Right?
I asked someone to pause it. They paused it. I commented.
Aye, but I can't talk because I've got to mute my stream, don't I?
Fucking Scottish people, man.
You don't know the
it's
difference.
Clive Translate thinks she's Billy Big Boy. Shut up, Clive, for 2 seconds. Hold your thought.
Can you pause it? I ain't bother. Stop pausing it. Stop pausing it.
Scottish as white Australians or Americans or white South Africans who think they're so Scottish when they come and visit here to play golf, right? But
Well,
Okay,
he's clearly
an
Clan
additional,
Jamaica,
an
isn't he?
additional
Clan
2 seconds. Thank you, mate. Thanks
No,
for
but
all
the
that
point is,
carry
like, who
on.
says that?
Sorry,
though?
no, Charles.
I'm more Scottish than white people that come here to play
I
golf.
mean, a
or
big
good buddy
song and
you
dance
fucking-
for another 2
Like-
seconds.
Well,
Shut up, you cunt.
Look at him getting sensitive again. Like, you should probably change your name from No Chance to, like, Sensitive Communum instead of, saying some communums about, we all know who he is. Why don't you just rename yourself, could you? Like, yeah, wee poof. Like,
What this is with these people, these little fucking silly fucking larpers. Imagine being like,
Nobody knows what Gudgy
imagine
means.
being a certain dog breed, like a pussy one.
So sensitive. You wee
Listen. Imagine this is the way they laugh. Imagine being like a fucking, like a spaniel, and you want to be a Rottweiler. This is what they're doing. They're like, oh, I want to be a Rottweiler, but I'm a spaniel. Just an inferior group of people trying to laugh at something else, and it's fucking embarrassing.
I know, mate. It's like having a Telegram channel to your dog.
Well, I was going to say,
I'm sorry to interject here, but then again, look how fucking butthurt Mr. Micro Penis Clyde Chance is. That he's now going to start making jokes about the fact I've got a channel where I post photos with my dog. What? Because I told you to bounce.
42. This is what happens when you get Scottish people on me.
I know, they just interrupt and they won't let you speak. Awful.
You would honestly assume that, like, you were a fucking gay.
This is why the Romans built a wall, because of you terrible
Exactly.
people.
Here, Toffee, absolutely.
Like, with his eye.
No, he's that gentleman was clearly from Clan McJamaica, and soon there'll be a tartan in his colours.
There already is a fucking Islamic tartan now. To be fair,
I wouldn't be surprised if that was true.
Mate, it's in a fucking museum. We do have
there's a space
Islamic
there.
Scottish tartan.
Yeah.
Is that? Are you serious?
Oh,
Aye,
oh
well,
my god! Let me share my screen again. Wait a minute.
Aye, well, Hamza Yusuf swore himself in and fucking.
I'll get that up to.
Aye.
For you.
So
No, sorry, I wasn't interrupting.
He's
I'm just
on
saying
tartan and he swore himself in what fucking language is it?
Urdu.
In Urdu or whatever it is.
Yeah, it was
Aye,
Urdu.
so that's how he swore himself in the Scottish Parliament. And then they decided to put his tartan in a museum because Scotland is diverse. When it's not, they've created this diverse persona which doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But it's in a museum, so that means it's true.
Yeah, of course. Well, Hamza Yusuf is just as Scottish as you and I. So.
What happens whenever 50-year-olds start declaring themselves 7?
That's it, exactly.
Because they've already contorted reality to the point where you could make these sort of outlandish comparatives. Like the
This is where this shit's leading, like pedophilia, where it's like I'm 20, you're 5, you're 4, I can just do this shit. Let's all fucking mix shit up. Nothing means anything.
Actually, I think you'll find I've got the 20-year-old tartan, not the 5-year-old tartan.
Right, Pascal, wait a minute. Pascal. We'll get this shit.
I said to DJ the other week, yous have got it bad up there. I think yous are going for it.
I know that's what I was saying.
The rest of the
like,
British Isles.
I've been screaming this for long enough, and I said this in my recent community post on YouTube, is a lot of like, English nationalists always roll their eyes and poo-poo the fact that Scotland are going through a massive demographic change, and they go, oh, well, London's worse. Look at Birmingham. Look at this. Look at that. And you're like, look at Scotland.
Exactly.
Like, if you look at the population,
yeah, I was going to say that. They never take into consideration like the population size.
Aye, they forget about it. And it's about, say, being very generous, you're saying 6 million. But
it's 5
million. Yeah, so what's the population of Scotland? Like
5.6 million.
Aye, 5.6 million. So say rounding up 6 million. But then you look at the population at London, London rounding up is 9 million. And you look at how quickly and drastically that's changed over a small period of time. And see the amount of English nationalists I talk to that just kind of shrug off Scotland's reality. And then when you look at photos of primary schools of adults that are having children, it is majority non-white.
Yeah, especially in Glasgow. Like Glasgow's, there's certain sections of Glasgow where the school, it's about in Govan especially, the demography of the school age children is about 95 to 96% non-white.
I don't know if you remember, DJ. I was telling you about I've got a younger sister, and she's a bit younger than me. She's like, you're talking like 8 years, right? And she made an observation to me that I didn't really consider until she said it. And she was like, and she didn't racially identify it, but she said Scottish, right? She's like, the kind of Scottish kids are held back because the teachers are more focused on kind of catching up the ones that can't really speak good English.
Yeah.
And that was like just an innocent observation. She didn't have the same politics as me. If you could argue, she's more liberal than I am because the kind of environment she was surrounded by. But that was just like an innocent observation of a young girl that was going through school.
Yeah,
I was like, that's like, to me, that's
immigrants. Nobody should be allowed in British school until their English is up to par. That's just the way it is.
Learn the fucking country to ask me, like, but can I just
Exactly, yeah.
I can stop sharing my screen, please.
Hey, lads, we're joking, but like, think about this. We're all joking. Yous are going to disappear within 4 generations.
Yeah, I
You've
know.
got like
but I'm
in
not-
America, there's a big Scottish contingent, but literally, you're going to disappear within 4 generations here. The rate things are going. This is
That's what I
fucking
tried to
scary
say
shit.
on my channel and that, and it'll
that's
be,
what I'm worried about.
Yeah, well,
is-
exactly. If I've got a child the way Clyde's got children and that, of course, like, you know, of
So,
course.
like, my
Excuse
wee
me.
girl, she's just turned 2. My wee boy's going to be 1. I've got a 7-year-old. I've got a 12-year-old. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've got 4 children.
Shagger.
I want them growing up in a country they recognise. I don't want them growing up in some fucking American melting pot which doesn't exist in Scotland. It's just a fantasy. It's just a way of selling diversity.
That picture DJ put up earlier, where it was just an entire Packy school with one little fucking white Scottish.
That was
terrifying.
That was my post I shared.
Was it yours? Yeah, sorry.
I put together like an image. I think it was Mark Collette shared it initially. Someone tagged me before that, but I done the image plus the zoom in of the only white kid with only they knew how bad things really were, and I'm like,
just
right-wing conspiracy.
I'm going to mute myself now, and I'm going to play this Hamza Yusuf thing so I can stop sharing my screen. Like, do you think I enjoy fucking sitting on my screen shared? Like,
Could I just ask a question of the Scots?
Yeah, fire on. But I'm going to play the video, but I won't play it until you see what you have to say. Right?
Is there? Quick question. Is there a body in Scotland that decides who can issue a tartan?
I couldn't answer that question, mate, honestly. But
Yusuf?
to me, if there is, it's not as kind of strict as it should be, given this video. But
in England, we have the College of Arms that decide whether you can bear arms or not, or whether that sort of thing. I was wondering if it's the same thing.
That's interesting.
I couldn't answer that. Couldn't answer that.
Okay, never mind. Let's carry on.
DJ.
Let's go Pollock.
I, Hamza Harun Yusuf,
I, Hamza Harun Yusuf,
do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance
do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance
to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, her heirs and successors according to law.
to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, her heirs and its successors according to law.
So help me God.
So help me God. मैं Hamza Yusuf ईमानदारी और सच्ची दिल से
Fuck off.
मैं हमेशा Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, उनके कानूनी वारसों, उनकी
Fuck off.
का वफादार और सच्ची दिल से तबीयतदार रहूंगा और इसमें खुदा वंदे करीम मेरी मदद फरमाए.
Oh my God.
Look at the passion in both speeches. Look at how he said that in English versus how he said it in fucking Pringle. I don't know what the fuck he is.
Pringle.
Hey,
Hurry.
what's that you've just said about the English arms, mate? We've got a certain thing here about. What did you say?
Oh, right.
Me?
I was saying about the College of Arms.
Aye, to answer your question, I don't know either, to be honest.
Surely there's there must be some.
Go ahead, explain that. Let him explain that, Rory. What did you say? Let him explain that.
Well, the College of Arms.
Yeah. What's that?
Well, it exists, and it's if you're sort of an aristocrat or something, or you claim aristocracy, you have to go to the College of Arms so they can issue a coat of arms. I think they do it with companies as well. All I was thinking was, surely there must be someone in Scotland who decides whether the patterns of tartans and whether they should be issued or not.
I don't know. I don't know.
Right,
EJ, pattern come from, to be fair. I mean,
EJ, before you chime in, Rory,
thanks, Clive.
Can you say I am Scottish?
Myself?
Yeah, can you
no,
say
I
that?
can't say I'm Scottish. No, I'm not Scottish.
No, but can you just like?
No, he wants to hear you say
that thing. Could you
Well,
say like?
He's just going to try and mock somebody else's accent. You're having a fucking joke, like.
I'm not mocking his accent. I'm just asking him if he can say I am Scottish.
Okay.
I think
Rory,
what he's
can
getting
you just
at,
repeat that? Can you just repeat that?
Roy, I think what he's getting at is anybody that hears you say I am Scottish will know that that's not the case simply because of your accent.
No, that's not what I'm saying. No, what I'm trying to say is if you say you are Scottish, that means you're Scottish. That's the rules. So if you can say it, that means
I am Scottish.
Yes, you're indigenous Scottish.
Scottish. Do you not have to cross the border and sniff Scottish air?
42. Don't give us all your fucking IRA Republican whatever shit. If you say it, you are it. It's like a transgender child saying the opposite sex. They are it. That's it. It's the same as being Scottish.
I'm kind of keen to hear Rory say it. Like, can you say that, please?
I don't really get the question.
I'm not. There's no question.
I told you I would never claim to be Scottish.
No, but
because I have no Scottish ancestry.
No, but we're not focused on ancestry. We're just focused on what you say you are. So just say I am Scottish.
What's Rory saying he is? What are you saying you are, Rory?
He's an Englishman.
Exactly.
Oh, Saxon.
Indeed.
The most effective human beings in the history of Earth. The Anglo-Saxons.
Wait. Let me just stop you. Did you just... It might be...
You tried to get an empire
Did you say effective or defective? Sense, there's a space.
Price of that cherry.
Well, I'm glad we have Toffee here to support our cause.
Right.
That's the Saturn X.
We're coming up on...
Do you know what happened, lads? Yeah, just a quick one. You tried to get an empire after the we had one. You fucked it up. You got into financial debt, and so you had to join up with us because you fucked it up. You silly fucking Scot, because you were too busy getting pissed or whatever you were doing.
Noodle-headed faggot. Like, no, I'm not having that. Like, no. Yeah, we did fuck up. Like, we did fuck up. But shut up. Like, how did we go from being like Chads back in the day to like butchering?
Right, lads. We are coming up on 3.5
We've been on a while,
hours.
haven't we?
I'm
And
wide awake. Like,
it's now 10 to 3. I would like to have this wrapped up for about 3 o'clock each.
Yeah, for like starting your streams at stupid times at night, like, you know. You know what I mean? Like, 40 lad and Sense and finish at like what, fucking 10 o'clock, but you wait an hour and a half. Like, who's
No, the Bonnie Lad and Sansom, generally speaking,
Sansom rambles like fuck. Like, if you have him on a stream, then you have to be on amphetamine or something, like, because it's not acceptable. Like, he doesn't shut the fuck up.
This was a golden though, this wasn't it? We had the golden here.
But no, it's your fault for starting your stream so late. Like,
no, it's not. My stream starts at a very appropriate time for the nightclub.
Americans and fucking people in Zimbabwe, like, but you know,
yeah, it's the only time that none of these other fuckers are streaming. So
you fucking throw shit at me, like, you know.
There's one because I work 2 weeks day shift, 2 weeks night shift. I need to do my stream at the weekend, and finding a time over the weekend whenever there's nobody else on is a little difficult. And I went with 11:30 Saturday night, and also to help all our brothers and sisters that are insomniacs and fucking can't sleep and need something to watch.
Ethnics. This is an ethnic friendly stream, this mate.
I've got a theory about you, 42. Like, you know, tell me if I'm wrong, right? Before you do.
You reckon 42 is black?
You are black, aren't you?
No.
You've got Velcro hair, don't you?
No.
No, I am definitely of the Caucasian persuasion.
Nah, mate, honestly, this has been a belt of this. We've had it here, mate. I wish it could go on longer.
It has been a banging wee stream, like, oh fuck, why is that wee Fanny in your chat? Like, get him punted, could you? Billy blogs, like, fucking faggot. But anyway, I need ball if you want to end it, that's fine.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and do closing thoughts. Roy, what about yourself?
Closing thoughts. Union of Ireland and Scotland.
What union? What? There's no union with Ireland.
How about that one for a thought?
No, fuck the union.
Well, at least you could trade with one another.
Yeah.
Also,
say like I've said this before. I've already done a stream before with 42 where I've talked about my position on Scotland and stuff. Like, I would prefer like in an idealistic world, like a sort of sovereign, sovereign nations. Get the monarchy needs to go, union needs to go, parliament needs to go. All this Westminster nonsense. But let me just preface that for trade, free trade, the same principle would apply to like security and armaments and whatnot. Like that would be what I would want.
So you want all the good stuff.
Well, I was talking about
stealing Saxons.
Well, no, I was talking about the Northern Ireland Protocol. At the moment, Northern Ireland cannot trade freely with Scotland.
Yeah,
that's very wrong.
It is wrong. It just shows that the UK government and the EU don't give a fucking shit about Northern Ireland. That's why there's a fucking a sort of.
Well, no, absolutely. No, I agree.
Actually, it was the House of Lords fucked us. Whenever Boris Johnson came into power, he put through a bill to remove the Northern Ireland Protocol. It went through the House of Commons and the Lords knocked it back.
Hey, can I just say, just before we go, just like going off subject completely, there's a lady, Dawn Browning, in the chat who I absolutely love to bits. I call her my internet mum. Sorry, going off subject, but I just absolutely love her to bits.
I think she's part
the field marshal.
The field marshal, Dawn Browning, Aussie lady, my girl. What a girl.
She's got Scottish heritage, like, so she's part of the diaspora. Come home, Dawn. Leave the fucking colonized colonies.
Love you, Donny girl, swear. Honestly, she's what a fucking girl.
Right.
Sim, I'm gonna
Sim,
slap
sim, sim, sim.
lip Saxon bastard. I'll stop talking now. It's
Right.
fine.
Yeah, lads, this has been an absolute belter. I'm looking forward to next week.
Yes, Toffee, we're going to have a really good conversation next week. It's going to be a belter. No
DJ,
chance.
no chance. I hope you can
It's
get
called
on there.
Clive. Like, come on. Call him Clive. Call him Clive. Come on.
The cherries are rising.
No. We're not gonna negate from the point. Call him Clive. Just say good night, Clive.
No, like Clive.
I am clipping that, by the way, dickhead Clive. We're going to the timestamp. You're fucking done.
Right. No chance. Any closing thoughts?
You mean Clive? Stop it. It's Clive.
It says no chance on the screen. I'm going to be correct.
Your name's Clive Chance, so come on.
Clive Chance, I'm fucking
like
no, all it says, cheers for having me on 42. Pleasure. I hope you didn't see any disagreement as some personal slight. It was just interesting conversation, but I'll happily come on anytime, but cheers for having me.
Here, no chance. Really, thanks for coming on.
But
don't worry. There's no personal insults were given or taken. It is good to have conversations. We need to talk this stuff out.
We're all adults.
Yeah, we're all good. Thanks for coming on. Toffee, thanks for coming on. I'll see you next week. DJ, thanks for coming on. Really good crack as always. Rory, thanks again. Always good to have yourself on.
Thank you. Thank you, 42. Thank you for having me on.
Nice one, Rory, lad.
You're not fucking biased, like. All I was going to say before you end it is that I don't know Scott Sarmer's streaming tomorrow night, but if he's not, I'll be streaming with hopefully Bonnie Lad and that Saxon bastard, Sensum, and maybe Clive if he can be bothered, because I know he thinks he's bigger than me now with his subs counts and stuff. But apart from that, no badger.
Excellent, well done. That's all good. Also, Ragnar Ironspirit Sunday before that. That's all good. Thanks everybody. I'm going to put some music on and put the comments up on the screen.
Peace out, lads. Absolute pleasure.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Do you understand that? Turn the friggin' frogs gay. Serious crap. Gay. Frogs, friggin' frogs. It's not funny. I'm gonna say it real slow for you. Gay. Frogs. Won't you fight for your life? Gay frogs, friggin' frogs. I don't like a frog. Gay friggin' frogs. Frogs. Friggin' frog crap. Won't you fight the frogs? It's not funny. I'm gonna say it real slow for you. Frogs. Place one.
All right, everybody. Thank you very much. I've been 42. The guests have been awesome, and you lot in the chat have been fucking awesome as always. Thank you. Good night. God bless. See you next week.